Let's get started on some D&D then.
Yeah.
So let me just... You're
I'm
right.
just watering in the mouth.
Can you tell we're slightly excited for Dungeons and Dragons?
I think
There's
people
just a
are-
little-
It's Dungeons and Dragons!
Get it,
Dungeons and Dragons! Okay, right, so... Let's set the scene a little bit.
Oh.
So, the year is Stardate 31208. Over 10,000 years since mankind first started travelling the stars. In the years since the advent of faster-than-light travel, the human race has spread far and wide throughout the galaxy, from the paradise worlds of the Proxima Sector to the long unexplored reaches of deep space, further from Earth than one could ever imagine. Over the centuries, humans, although by no means the dominant species they were on their home planet, they've become well enough entrenched in galactic society to have formed close-knit bonds with alien races of all shapes and sizes through the formation of what has become known as the Federation of Man, and eventually the Xenos Accord, which strikes a long-term bargain with many of the races inhabiting deep space for trade in technology, wealth, and resources. Alongside the share of technology and wealth, mankind's drive to explore has been stronger than ever, with frontiers far and wide teeming with strange creatures, inspiring vistas, and ancient alien artifacts worth their weight in gold. And with this drive came a new profession: salvage and rescue. Many salvage teams act under the watchful eye of the Federation to ensure that they do not breach any protocol with their Xenos allies. But, as with all professions with a large profit margin, crews can often be put together by a single captain with a drive to make their fortune. And it's aboard one of these intrepid vessels that our story will begin. The SRS Eclipse, captained by the illustrious Captain Hex, is an older vessel from the Titan V line. Way before Federation time, a relic of the past, but still a functioning salvage vessel. It's a small vessel, designed for a crew of no more than 10 members. Its hull is shimmering in highly polished, yet clearly worn black steel, and it's angular and rugged, in the shape of an arrow, which is very popular at the time when they were designing these vessels, almost like a black angular stingray, a product of an age of early fleet salvage vessels. Inside the ship is a standard affair. Its cold, dark metal corridors are illuminated softly by white fluorescent lights, the smell of oil and rust in the air mixed together to give it a bitter, sweet smell. The ship's bridge has received upgrades over the past few years, its holographic data display in particular giving the whole area a red glow from its projected display, almost out of place against the ship's older design. Soft-edged and clean against the otherwise dark and sharp metal of the rest of the bridge fittings. At the front of the bridge is a large viewing window which is currently looking out into deep space, almost serene in its emptiness. In the centre of the bridge, overlooking the central console, is a plush black metal chair, well padded with red crimson leather material, a set of controls hanging on the right armrest, and a large screen folded above it on a piston, ready to be raised and lowered. In the chair sits a figure reclined back on the seat, her left leg resting up on the armrest as she flicks through multiple screens of detailed analytics and ship status readings. Aloria, can you describe Captain Hex and tell us a little bit about your character, please?
No problem. So, Hex is, well, for better word, she looks like your standard tiefling. However, any part of her that would be tiefling is all metal and glowing. It clearly has this electricity humming through her body. Her tail has different segments to it as she moves and it sways around her body. Belts adorn her clothes, and she props her glasses, which are tinted red, obviously, to match the outfit, and the bridge of her nose. She is a warlock, a Hexblade warlock in particular, and that's where the name Hex came from.
Okay. And directly in front of the captain, there are two further seats, again plush and padded, but this time with more of a drab, leathery brown colour. A curved arc in front of the two seats is a vast array of buttons and controls, including two large pilot's consoles. In the left seat sits a human, around their late 30s. They have short, scruffy hair which is greying on both sides, and they're wearing a pair of pilot's goggles which have been pushed up onto their forehead, along with a black jumpsuit embossed with the SRS Eclipse logo, underneath which is written the name Dwerg. The figure seems locked into their role, flicking through a series of maps and charts, plotting a course whilst a gentle autopilot light flashes next to them. Sitting in the seat next to them, however, is another humanoid. This time they have a handheld tablet and they're flicking through some flight manuals, with wide eyes comparing them to some of the dials and switches on all the control panels. Ken, can you introduce us to Kai, please?
Of course I can. So, attending his job as co-pilot, we have Kai, the Triton Rogue. He's pretty tall, relatively like scrawny, bit of a like wiry build, so kind of like lean, tight muscle. And he has a couple of like little daggers about his person, and he's got kind of like cyberpunkish clothing, sort of neon pastel green hair. But one of his like most couple of standout features would be his deep blue skin and glowing yellow eyes that seem to glimmer brighter when he's paying more attention to things or having to think, and dull a bit when he's like not super interested or engaged mentally. He is a specific type of rogue, but the type of rogue that he is will be revealed at a later date, I think. But they came upon Kai, the SRS Eclipse. He's probably one of the more recent joins to the Eclipse's crew. They found him locked in an abandoned laboratory on a certain planet during one of their scavenging runs. And they ended up finding him in this derelict lab, surviving off of rations and like sort of unperishable like just block food, and they managed to like save his life, so he kind of credits them with like giving him a second chance because he was very certain he was going to die, so he joined up and decided to do anything and everything he can to help out the crew, and that ended up in him being the co-pilot of the ship.
Hell yeah. Okay, so carrying on, over at the central display near the captain's chair is a young woman who's reading a series of data logs, clicking onto holographic symbols which look like sound waves and music notes, before pressing her hand to her headset, which is positioned to cover her ears and kind of just push back on her head. Starry, can you describe Howl, please?
Yeah, sure. So Howl is this crew's communications officer. She is a half-elf, werewolf bard. It's not a secret that she's a werewolf, everyone knows it. She's got like white, like really long white hair that she keeps up in like half up space buns with like some braids, and like she definitely got bored doing her hair and ended up doing like 4 different styles. She's got one yellow eye with a slit pupil and one really like icy blue eye, and I love it. Her headphones have little cat ears that are like adorable, and she's wearing like this massive oversized jumper over her uniform because she says it's uncomfy. And yeah, she is on the ship to look for her brother, who is currently MIA. And like she was kind of like super depressed when she first joined, and now she's just kind of here and she's like really happy now. I think it was the cupcakes.
Yes.
But yeah, she's just kind of vibing. She never listens to anyone, and right now she is blasting Ghost.
Love it. So the room's kind of silent as they're kind of drifting through space when Dwerg, who's been sitting comfortably kind of working on the course, stirs from his seat and looks back towards the captain. Captain, we appear to be closing in on the source of the distress signal. We should be arriving in the next 45 minutes or so. I suggest we notify the crew that we'll be arriving soon.
So I kind of turn my head a little bit, very lazily, to look at him and go, yeah, alright, if you could go and do that then for me. And then looks back to her screen.
Dwerg kind of lets out a sigh and goes, Jack, did you get that? And you all hear this voice kind of come over the entire bay.
Yes, I will notify the crew.
Okay. So, outside the bridge, and further down the ship's corridors, sits the Eclipse's medical bay. Like the bridge, it's seen a few upgrades from the stock contents of the older ship. In particular, it has a large healing tank, procured a few years ago during a salvage mission to an abandoned research station, which is actually clad in really thick white plastics that looks really out of place against the bays of otherwise cold metal. It also has a singular bed which is fitted into an old cryogenics pod, which has been wired into the ship's systems using some very precarious looking wiring. The side of the pod is actually dropped down, allowing access to the side of it, and attached to that wiring is a screen which has been set up to run diagnostic software. It's currently displaying what appears to be healthy green lights across the board. Sitting on the edge of the cryopod, too big to fit inside, is a really heavy-set loxodon. And for those of you who don't know what a loxodon is, they are like elephant humanoids. He's wearing a white shirt underneath these tattered blue dungarees, and he's got a left tusk that has actually been broken off, seemingly for a long while as it's been sanded down to a flat stump. And whereas his right tusk appears a little smaller than usual, almost underdeveloped as if it was more of an orc's tusk than that of a loxodon. His trunk is pierced all the way down with gem-like studs running down the length, and despite his large size, his movements show that he's very, very gentle and slow, moving with caution so as not to damage anything in the bay. However, his right arm does have a large cut on it, which appears to be fresh. Tending to the loxodon is a pale female figure, beset on either side by medical tools, who's carefully working and stitching away at the race. Tiny, can you introduce Cassiopeia, please?
Of course. Hello, my name is Cassiopeia Novus. I'm 7 feet tall, around 40 years old. I have a soft expression, metallic tubing hair spanning down my back, lit up with an orange glow. My skin is metal but somehow looks soft, metallic tubing joining my limbs together. My eyes have that same soft, comforting orange glow that's in my hair. You can find me either healing in the medical bay or making sweet treats for the crew in the cafeteria. Tea, scones, cupcakes, anything to cheer up my family of crewmates. I'm a medic aboard the Eclipse, and I've been here for around 3 years after encountering Captain Hex at a refueling station. Previous to this, I researched nanobots before I left my home planet.
Okay, so the loxodon's kind of, it winces as you're kind of stitching into these wounds of its arm. And he looks up at you with this very, very soft look. Oh. Sorry, great healer. Griggs needs to stop bumping into things.
You don't ever have to apologise for anything like that. And please, call me Cass.
Oh, you always treat the gods with respect, so sorry, I'm going to keep calling you great healer.
So long as I can get you feeling better, it's okay, but please call me Cass.
He kind of lets out a sigh.
Yeah, I go a little bit more gentle with my my stitching. I look around, is there any anaesthetic or anything that I can use to make it a little bit softer for him?
Make a quick investigation check. With advantage because you know your way around the medical bay.
1 sec.
The first roll.
First roll of the campaign, let's go. It's a room advantage as well.
So does anyone else have a hook?
Wait. Where am I going for this?
On your character sheet, click on your investigation. It should just have the word investigation on your skills.
Okay.
Yeah, and just roll that, and you should have the advantage button.
Advantage, okay. Oh,
Okay,
18.
18. So yeah, you've got quite a few different supplies in there that you've been using over the ages. And as you're looking through them, you find one which is suitable for loxodons, which is kind of one that you've had in the back of the bay, kind of away in the back of the cupboard somewhere. And you reach in and sort of spray it onto Greaves' wound to give him a bit of anaesthetic, and he kind of lets a bit of a nod out. Thank you.
Greaves, just be careful.
Greaves tries to be careful, but corridors are a bit too small for someone of my size. But I'll try. And he nods. Okay.
Right. How about a cupcake?
he smiles and kind of reaches out with his trunk towards where you've got this kind of, because you always have the kind of tray of cupcakes sort of in your medical bay for people who've had injuries, and he kind of reaches over and grabs one with his trunk.
Okay.
Okay. And you just kind of sit there chatting and laughing for a little bit. So, across the hall from the medical bay, the sound of laughter can be heard coming from the top of a set of wiry stairs leading into the crew lounge. The crew lounge itself is a fairly well set out room, quite a big room, large enough to easily house the whole crew, and functions as the crew's centre of entertainment as well as its canteen. Its food replicator allows the crew to get fantastic meals, even when they're so far away from civilization, as long as the nutrient paste doesn't run out. And the room looks almost like a bar. There's several pool tables sort of sat at the far side of the room, in front of a large TV screen which is playing replays of early Earth movies from the late 5000s, a favourite of T.O.M.O., one of the crew's salvage team. There's a few tables that are put together in collections of smaller booths on a raised area just inside the entrance, close to the kitchens, which is also set up with a collection of vending machines along with the big food supervisor. In one of the booths, sitting around playing cards, are 4 crew members. The first of whom is a large humanoid with brown fur kind of greying around the corner of their face, and they're wearing a red jumpsuit with fur kind of haphazardly sticking out of the collar and out of like little rips in the uniform, and their fur is completely matted with what looks to be oil. And this guy kind of smiles as he puts down 4 of a kind, 4 tens, and goes, "Read 'em and weep!" Sitting across from them is a small auto gnome, a mechanical gnome-like creature, with brown and gold casing. His torso's kind of stretched around the chest to make it look like he's almost in like a little mechanical 3-piece suit with a little bow tie. He's got these little thin mechanical limbs that are kind of almost too thin to carry the weight of his mechanical body. And he kind of throws his cards down on the table, really annoyed, and just turns around and looks at the other figure and goes, "At this point, it's mathematically impossible. Are you sure you aren't cheating, Methvin?" "I'd never cheat, Tomo, but I'll sure as hell take your money." They all begin to start laughing as Tomo's sort of sitting there looking dejected. "Huh, I don't know why I even let you talk me into playing this old Earth game. I always lose." At this, one of the further figures that's sitting at the table, a large humanoid, puts his hand onto Tomo's shoulder and just sort of shakes his head, gesturing to Tomo towards his drink. "Deuce, can you introduce Zarek, please?"
Hi. Yeah, Zarek is a small mountain of a humanoid barbarian, never really far from his axe. I work on the ship as one of the salvage scrappers, pulling in bits of debris into the ship and always up for a good loot.
Doesn't sound like you at all.
No. I have a mechanical arm, thanks to rather unfortunate accidents in the past, and my eyes are a bright blue, almost white sort of glow to them.
Okay. As this is all going on, so sitting back in their chair looking at their poker hand, which is actually a royal flush, is a small furry figure who's just watching the situation sort of unfold with amusement. Panda, can you introduce Gizmo, please?
I can. So, Gizmo is a red panda. In D&D terms, they're a Mapak. They are an engineer, they are a artificer, and they are about 2.5, 3 foot tall. They're extremely small, and around their neck you will see a nice brown little otter called Omen. That is Gizmo's Gizmo's familiar. Gizmo wears a nice body length for him big coat which has little like mechanical arms that hold spanners and wrenches jutting out from here, and has some nice little modified ears that like whenever there's a noise just like twitch.
Okie dokie. And Panda, what do you do as you're sitting at this table with your hand that, like I said, you've got a royal flush after you've just seen Methin put down 4 of a kind. What do you decide to do next?
I'm gonna just keep silent and just wait for everybody else to show their hands.
So it carries on around the table. You've got, obviously, Tomo has just folded. He's thrown his cards just on the table. Zarek wasn't playing, so it's only kind of you, Methin, and Tomo that were playing. So Tomo's revealed his 4 of a kind, Methin's revealed his 4 of a kind. Tomo has kind of folded out.
Well, as you see, I'll just kind of like flourish my cards. The money will be mine.
Methin just looks at your cards and then looks over at kind of at Zarek and then at Tomo and just looks back at you and goes, thought I really had it this time. Fine. And he kind of pushes over a load of coins over to you. This is, it's all kind of just bits of salvage that has been left behind from previous adventures and kind of that you've kind of found on previous missions. It's just all the little bits that you've been finding, and he kind of shunts over a load of scrap that you can use in your inventions.
I'm gonna take some of it and I'm gonna give it like a good like once over, and then I'm gonna bring it to my snoot and give it like a little lick and just be like, nah, and just throw it at Zarek.
Fair enough. So you just kind of throw it all over to Zarek. And you all carry on laughing and joking around this poker game just for a little bit longer, until an announcement starts to come over the ship's tannoy.
Attention crew. We are approaching the source of the distress signal. Can all crew members please make their way to their stations in preparation for landing?
Methin shrugs his shoulders. Well, guess that's it for now. Hey, Zarek, if your team finds anything valuable in whatever hellhole we're landing this time, make sure it goes to Tomo's share so I can win it off him, yeah?
Only if I don't get to it first.
He just sort of smiles. Tomo kind of rolls his eyes as Methin laughs before standing up and kind of... He pats Gizmo on the back and goes, let's get down to engineering, hey? And
I don't know why you're going. It's always me doing it anyway.
Hey, I do enough work on this ship too, and he doesn't. He just kind of sits in the back. He's more of a welder than an actual, like, he knows engineering, he's just very lazy, but he does enjoy welding.
He is the trophy husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why Hex recruited him.
So Methin starts to make his way out towards the engineering bay. I take it you're heading towards the engineering bay as well, Gizmo, yeah?
Yeah. I'm going to go through the vents.
You go through the vents. So you disappear through the vents. He kind of... And the engineering bay is like right below the deck that you're on. So you kind of pop out your vent right as you see Methin kind of coming down a set of ladders the other side of the bay. And you arrive at engineering, and the room itself is kind of beset by 2 large engines, which are constantly pumping to causing a huge amount of noise. The lighting there is a bit dim compared to the rest of the ship. Ironically, for the main station of 2 maintenance engineers, there are loads of bulbs out, which make it darker than it should be. But since there are only 2 of you down there, it's kind of an out-of-sight, out-of-mind situation where you're focused on repairing things that actually matter, rather than repairing the light bulbs and stuff. But at the rear of the bay, the one area that is well lit and well prepared is a workbench, where, Gizmo, you've been kind of tampering with your latest inventions. So what kind of thing would you be building?
Right now, what I'm building is kind of like a little suit for Omen, so that I can place on him, and he can, with his fur and with his mind, be able to control little arms, so he can fix things that I can't reach.
Oh my god.
Perfect. Okay. Meanwhile, Cass, you've just finished stitching up Grieg's wounds, and he kind of stands up and goes, you've had the same alert come through the speakers by you as well, and he turns around and says, well, great healer, Griggs has got to go get to Grieg's station. Maybe Griggs can talk to Great Healer after the mission about healing relics. Griggs would like to know more about divine healing.
Of course, Greaves. No problem at all. We'll do that. I pat him on the back.
He sort of smiles towards you and kind of moves over towards the door, which you can see by the size of him. He kind of has to turn to his side and then duck to get under the doorway because he is huge. And he goes, anyway, Griggs have been keeping you occupied. I should go report. And he kind of leaves the door and almost bumps into Tomo and Zarek in the hallway coming down that path. And he turns around to the two of you and goes, "Ah, great soldier and great robot friends, let us prepare for the expedition." And sort of Tomo, the little robot, lets out a bit of a sigh going, "You're never going to call us by name, are you?" And he just sort of smiles. Before kind of Tomo, Greaves, and Zarek, you make your way down into the cargo bay, where you've kind of got set up for this little cargo structure. It's a large and sprawling bay that takes up almost half the length of the ship, with two mechanical haulers, like walkers, that are in bays along the far side of the wall, with a small salvage drone and several empty crates filled with packing foam. The whole bay is lit with a red fluorescent light, and at the rear of the bay are two large doors that are open, allowing the drones to be dispatched or cargo to be loaded. But they kind of load into another further loading bay that is kind of then an airlock to stop you from going into the exterior of the ship. And at the far side of the room, there's 5 seats, each with seatbelts, allowing you to get yourself kind of strapped in, ready for landing. And you're kind of getting yourself prepared and kind of getting the bay all ready. So, a few minutes pass with everybody as you are kind of getting yourself acquainted to, kind of, I say acquainted, getting yourself used to, coming in on this approach. Before we do jump into the next section, what's everybody doing at the moment? Has anybody got anything they want to do before we move on?
Well, I think Kai at the moment is just like obsessively like plotting the course and conferring with the other co-pilot, or the main pilot, to just try and figure out the proper approach and everything. So he's like fully locked in.
Makes sense.
Hal is not listening, headbanging, like she is in her own little world, just having a bath.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to put the cover on my cupcakes and put away all the tools I was using. Keep everything nice and tidy.
Okay. Hex, what are you up to?
She's gonna talk to. I'm gonna have a word with Jack, and as she speaks, like all of the cybernetics on her body kind of hum with that red glow, specifically the ones across her face near her horns. Jack, can you just relay the message that we received again for us?
Sure thing, Captain. We received the message to state that there was some kind of vessel missing out in the void. We're following a distress signal that just seems to be repeating. However, we haven't got a signal from it properly as of yet. We're approaching soon, though. We should be there in the next 40 minutes or so.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Sure thing, Captain.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna make some notes on my little tablet.
Okay.
Tippy 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 tip tip.
Tippy tippy.
Oh, you've also reminded me. I need to update any about what I've just been doing in terms of healing. I need to make my notes.
Yeah. So you start making yourself a few notes. Okie dokie. Zarek, what are you doing?
Just prepping the cargo drones, making sure everything works.
Okie
Don't want to
dokie.
miss out on any loot.
Yeah, so you just kind of checking this. So the drone that the main drone that you've got in there, it almost looks a bit like, it's like a large half-circle top section with a flat top, and this kind of slanted, almost looks like an eye at the front of it, like a singular circular eye, with this kind of casing over the top of it, that braces it, and it's got these 6 almost spider-like legs that let it kind of cling to surfaces, with this small hanging maintenance arm underneath it that it uses for loading and unloading of the kind of these crates. And you kind of just double check it all. You check it all over, make sure it's all functioning, and it all seems to be in order. And you're kind of able to fold the legs back in and sort of store it back on its bay. Okay, Gizmo, what are you up to?
I'm currently scampering around engineering. I have deposited Omen on one of the monitors to keep watching to see if the green turns to any other color than green. And every time the other engineer tries to mess with something, I'm slapping his hand with my wrench.
Meffin just kind of takes the hint and just goes and sits down at the far side of the bay, and he's kind of sitting there with a magazine while you're doing all the work. Okay. So, a little while passes while you're all doing your little bits on the ship. As you begin to approach where the signal of this distress signal is coming through, and as you begin to get closer, something starts to come into view. It takes a little while for you to get your kind of sight of it, but something starts to come into view from this viewing window. Whereas those of you in the cargo bay and engineering, you see this on a set of monitors. You see a ship looming in the cold vacuum of space, an intimidating and brooding monolith of twisted metal and dark artistry. Its surface is patchwork of jagged edges and contorted shapes, a fusion of technology and kind of gothic design. It's got these kind of wrought iron battlements that crawl across it like veins, as if the ship's alive with some kind of malevolent force. From almost every surface, there are grotesque gargoyles made of obsidian black steel that are leering out, their forms twisted and frozen in silence, their eyes glowing like stars against the blackness of the ship. The figures, although they're both ancient and alien, they seem to be looking to guard the ship against the emptiness of space itself, as if daring any who would challenge the ship's passage through an area. At the rear of the ship, a massive black metal castle rises from the hull, an organic part of the ship's very structure. It's both a fortress and a ruin. It's got these kind of jagged towers that stretch into the void like the claws of some kind of beast, and the castle's spires are wrought with the same dark alloy as the ship's exterior, yet they seem to pulse with some kind of ancient energy, as if alive and waiting. The architecture is a warped reflection of kind of gothic grandeur, with these arched viewing windows set with crude viewing ports, like eyes in the battlements, looking out and glinting with an obscene, eerie obsidian colour. The castle doesn't just sit on top of the ship, however, it's actually become one with the ship, its walls merging seamlessly with the metalwork of the ship itself, as though the vessel was grown rather than built. Iron chains and hooks dangle from parapets weightlessly, their purpose inscrutable but ominous. Shadowy figures on your kind of short-term scanners can be seen flickering at the castle windows, their movements imperceptible yet unsettling. The ship itself is also humming with a strange power, although it's very clear that the engines are dead. An ancient energy is reverberating through the frame itself, as if it were a living thing, but also a ruin from a forgotten epoch. The whole craft from bow to stern is a testament to a civilization lost to time, a rusting behemoth that is just floating through the void. Dwerg starts running the ship's scanners, attempting to garner any information about the ship and its origins. A whirring flicker of red, laser-like light starts scanning a small portion of the ship, looking for any idents that can be used to explain the ship's origins, whilst the Eclipse's short-range camera scanners scan the ship, giving you all close-up views of the eerie design. A few tense minutes pass silently as you all gather yourselves and take this in, before the voice of Grimdark comes through the ship's speakers.
The Raven Loft. Cryo-colony repopulation and terraforming vessel of the human colony of the planet Barovia 8. Black box readings indicate they were on a colonization mission, carrying 412,516 cryo-colonists. Destination unknown. Crew status unknown. Colonist status unknown. Scans for life signs unsuccessful due to electronic interference. The ship's engines are dead, and she appears to be adrift. Starboard side dock ident SVA-1-1CH Salvage, responding to automated landing hail. Suggested course of action: scout, search, and rescue of any surviving crew, repair of the ship's engines, and transport to the nearest inhabited system for salvage.
You all sit in silence for a few seconds, kind of taking in this whole scene, when suddenly, Howell, your headset, the music, just stops out of nowhere, and suddenly you have a burst of static, followed by a voice feeding back into your headphones, even though you haven't accepted any incoming communications.
Welcome, honored guests. I, Captain Strahd von Zorovich, graciously await your arrival aboard the Ravenloft.
Howell, what do you do?
Can I try and get back to him?
Yeah, make me a intelligence check, please.
Please, no, I'm so dumb. Oh, wait, no, I'm not.
Character, not player.
Dicks. How do I roll intelligence? Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
All of you, shut up. Oh my god.
Well,
Okay, so you try to get back on the signal, but every time you do, it just feeds back in your headset, and you hear it once again.
Welcome, honored guests. I, Captain Strahd von Zorovich, graciously await your arrival aboard the Ravenloft.
At least turn him off.
You you whack at your console, and you realise that your headset isn't connected to any of the consoles.
What the?
A few more seconds pass, and you hear again. This time, coming through louder.
Welcome, honored guest. I, Captain Strahd von Zorovich, graciously await your arrival aboard the Ravenloft.
Oh my god, please shut up.
What do you do?
Oh yeah, everyone else thinks I'm insane.
Yeah.
I'm not taking my headset off. Can I at least try and get my music back on? Is it my iPod? Is my iPod broken?
So you start to mess around with your iPod trying to find out what's going on, and you click and your music comes back on, and the voice has disappeared.
Okay.
would we, like, any of us be able to notice what's going on with Howell?
With your passive perception, you'd all notice that she seems startled and kind of frantically trying to put her music back on.
Okay. In that case, like, Kai notices it out of the corner of his eye, and he sort of takes a moment, like, breaks his, like, locked gaze on the ship that's ahead, and kind of, like, double takes over. He's like, "Oi, Squirt! What's the matter over there? You right?"
The music would have gone back to the volume it was at before, right?
You would have heard him, but your music's kind of scattering in and out.
Aww. Sick.
Can I just ask, would I have seen any of this because I'm in the medical bay?
You're in the medical bay, you wouldn't have seen it. It's only Hex, Howl, and Kai that are there.
Mm.
Hal just kind of like puts her head in her hands and counts down from 10, just like slow breathing.
Trying to keep yourself calm.
Yep.
Hex kind of like sees, you know, what's going on. Obviously, like 10 seconds. She turn around in my chair to watch Hal, and I'm like, what's happened? Like, did your music turn off again? Did you run out of battery?
No, their captain got in my headset and turned my music off and started talking to me, and he wouldn't stop, and he kept repeating himself, and it was fucking annoying.
Okay, deep breaths. What did he say? Like,
I already forgot. That was Starry. I've already forgotten.
Oh, right.
Why aren't you gonna have to message me? I don't remember it.
Hang on, it's coming to you now.
Thank you.
ADHD!
ADHD brain, woo! Hang on, it'll be with you in just a second. There you go.
Okay. He basically said, like, "Hi, honored guest. I'm Captain Strahd von Mamamash, and he awaits our arrival aboard the Ravenloft.
Hey, Jack. Didn't you just say that there was no life forms or identifiable life forms on that ship?
The life signs scan was unsuccessful. However, this was due to interference. I was unable to penetrate the hull.
Yeah, penetrate.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, Hal.
Yeah?
Can you get back on the communication line?
I mean, I tried when he was sending it. I think I was just frantically pressing buttons, though.
Take on a werewolf, they said. She would help, they said. Kind of like rubbing the bridge of her nose. Okay.
Well, it sounds like we've got an open invitation, and Jack said he recommends for us to scout. Do you want me and Bossman to bring it in?
Yeah, let's go. Let's all just be wary, yeah? We don't want to repeat of what happened a few missions ago, yeah, guys?
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Got you, Captain.
Jack, let the others know that we're pulling in pretty soon as well, please.
Sure thing, Captain. And throughout the ship, you all hear this message coming through the tannoys.
We are making our approach to the Ravenloft. Arrival in a few minutes' time. Please make sure you are in your positions ready.
Dwerg, who's obviously the main pilot, he starts pulling things around, and he turns around to Kai. He goes, "Hey kid, remember how the power cyclers work? These old ships have no landing guidance, so they can be a bit tricky sometimes. Maybe it's time for you to actually finally try and do a manual landing."
Yeah, got you, boss man. I mean, I've run the simulation like 100 times, so I reckon I'll be all right. Leave it to me, yeah?
He kind of nods and says, "Then let's give it a go then." And
We're trusting him?
When I see that Kai's stuff is being used from my little pad,
Oh, no.
I'm gonna disable him so it doesn't work.
okay, so you kind of tap out your pad, and all the kind of the panel that Kai's at just goes dead all of a sudden. Dwerg
And
looks
he like freaks out a little bit. He's like, "Oi! What the fuck?"
Dwerg, who's actually like fairly used to Gizmo shenanigans by now, because he's a fairly experienced pilot. He's noticed that you've been doing this shit. He's kind of got used to it by now. So as you kind of switch things off your control panel, Dwerg leans down to his side and goes, "Damn," and kind of starts pulling at some of the wires, and basically pulls a wire out the side, puts it back into Kai's panel, and his panel wires back up, and goes. He turns around to Hex and goes, "Captain, he's been disabling things again."
Instead of like, actually, how far does my voice carry?
I mean, it carries through the whole room, but it wouldn't carry to the maintenance bay.
Okay, Jack, tell Gizmo to stop being a little fucking prick again.
So, Gizmo, in the engineering bay over the tannoy.
Crew member Gizmo, the captain says to stop being such an annoying little fuck again.
I will in a response to such an affront to my engineering knowledge, they would assume that I'm being annoying. I'm going to reactivate the controls and then go and sulk in a corner.
Okay.
And like before the like controls and everything came back on, like Kai was like freaking out. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna smack the shit." I mean, what do you say? Applying percussive maintenance, Captain.
Well done, Kai. You're
like,
doing your best. I'm proud of you.
Hal gives a small clap. Well done.
He smacks it and it comes back online.
See, do that, do the trick. Got it.
I'm just so sick of everyone at this point. I'm like, got my cup of coffee in my hand, just sipping at it angrily.
You know you love us.
After a couple of moments, you hear scurrying in the vents, and Owen comes through with a letter and gives it to you, Cass. It just reads a very sarcastic "fuck you."
Cass.
To Cass.
You mean Hex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get.
I was like, yeah, what did I do?
What did Cass do?
You're all the same to me. I'm a panda. Go away.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Okay,
The Hex
stupid
just
robot.
looks at it, screws it up, and throws it at Hal's head.
Can I turn around, see Owen, and pick him up? He has mine now.
You can try dexterity check against the otter.
What is my otter's dexterity?
+2.
Oh, 14.
One second, I've
Hey.
screw that one up. Hang on. It's
18.
Oh!
Oh! Why did you roll?
I was rolling the otter's dexterity.
I could do that.
He was rolling for the mass to suddenly change into a bullet that just pierces through your skull.
He's rolling to make sure we don't fucking crash, man.
Eyes locked in.
You reach down to try and grab Owen, and he kind of scutters around in between your legs and into a nearby vent and disappears. While this is still happening, you're slowly drifting towards the Ravenloft, and you see in the distance the Salvage port. Its blast doors opens up at the distance. And you're kind of pulling in using kind of manual control, Kai. You kind of line up perfectly, and everything's going well until you get around, until you get a bit closer, and suddenly all your ship's steering locks up. Dwerg kind of looks over to you and goes, I guess they do have some landing guidance after all. Guess we're sitting this one out. I'm sure we'll have a chance to try a manual landing sometime.
Please, God, no.
And he kind of chuckles as he leans back in his chair. However, a couple of minutes passed, and he starts to look a bit nervous. And Kai, from your experience, you would immediately know that something is wrong. The ship isn't slowing down. In fact, it's heading towards the landing bay, and it's actually speeding up. Suddenly, the soft white lighting of the bridge immediately turns into red warning lights. And everything starts to shudder as Grimjack's voice comes over the tannoy system.
Warning. Approach velocity too high. Warning. Collision imminent.
As the Eclipse
Okay.
nears the landing doors, turbulence begins to claw at its hull. What are you all doing?
Sitting my ass back down!
You sit yourself back down.
Do I hear this in the medical bay?
The entire ship can feel can hear the warning and can feel the vibrations as the turbulence begins to build up.
Okay, and what is the
So-
protocol for what I do? Do I go to the bridge? What?
Normally, you would go to the bridge because you have secure areas there.
Okay, I'll make my way to the bridge.
Okay, you start dashing towards the bridge. The corridor is shaking violently from side to side as you start to make your way down it. Do make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Dex.
Come on, Cass.
Dex. Dex. Hang on. Oh no!
Oh,
Just
no.
a normal roll.
Yeah, just normal dex roll then.
Come on,
Please.
Cass. Come on, Cass. Come on, Cass.
You get shook to the
Okay,
side.
that's not
You manage
bad.
to you manage to keep yourself on your feet as you make your way into the bridge, and you manage to strap yourself into your kind of braced seat in the bridge.
Okay.
As you kind of move closer, Kai, what are you doing?
So did you say that the power to the engines has entirely cut?
The engines are still running, and you're actually accelerating towards the landing bay.
Right, okay. So the controls are messed. Is that what the deal is currently?
Everything seems to be just charging forward.
Okay. I'm trying to think. My two courses of action here would either to try and sort out the controls and accelerate away to try and decelerate, or to reroute the shields so that we don't damage the ship when we inevitably crash into the thing. can I like investigate the computer systems and try and figure out what the bug is?
You can make an intelligence check, if you want to check to see what's going on. Investigation.
Investigation. Oof.
So you start looking through the control, but you can't seem to figure out what's going on. As you do, the vessel whips violently to the side as you actually get pulled through the outside of the still closed shields of the Ravenloft. The comms tower that's actually jutting high off the Eclipse actually hits a dark steel spike, and with a metallic shriek, the comms tower gets torn off the top of the Eclipse, so spiraling into the void. Through the tannoys, you hear a distorted screech, almost like a wounded animal. The voice of Grimdark suffering the impact. Howl, what are you doing as the communication tower gets ripped off?
There goes my job. Like, fully scrambling, see if there's anything I can do to reach anyone. Like, just literally send out a random distress, whatever it takes.
So, you start trying to send out distress signals, and as you do, you're getting feedback into your headphones from this broken communication tower. The surge of noise and sound. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Fuck. Yeah. Y'all might not need to get Cass. You're gonna need to get Cass.
Okay, so you sort of Hex, Kai. Well, Hex would see this. Kai, you're to engage with the controls. Cass, you would see it as well. You see Howl kind of place her hands on the side of her head as her face starts to warp slightly, and then snaps back into being herself again. Almost like she's struggling to hold control.
Shit.
Dwerg slaps the console, deploying the blast shields around the front of the ship, closing the viewing bay out to the front of the vehicle. As you hear this vibration as the ship begins to break through the threshold of the landing bay. Kai, what are you doing?
Me? What am I doing? Okay. So blast shields have been deployed around the cockpit, right?
Yes.
And you said that we've been ripped out of like the direction we were headed towards, and we need to kind of like reroute back to where we were.
You've been pulled through the threshold of the actual landing bay itself, so you're still heading into the landing bay, but you're going full pelt.
Okay. Am I able to do two things? Because I'd want to reroute the shields to be the direction that we're heading in, as well as try to reroute power to the like thrusters to try and like move us in the opposite direction.
So for this action, you'd only be able to make one of those two.
Right. Okay. And it's still bugged. I still have no control.
You have some control, so you can still reroute things, but you don't have any control over the
direction. Yeah, that's an issue. Okay, I'm gonna reroute the shields. Well, not reroute. I'm gonna direct the shields to be like focused in the direction that we are heading to try and negate. And Kai's gonna shout, "Brace for impact, everyone!"
Okay, you slam your hands onto the console. You see the lights all shimmer as the holographic console shows all the shields tilt to the front. Alarms begin to shriek as you hear every corner of the ship buckling under the strain. And below decks, the engineering bay is ablaze with ruptured coolant lines spraying gas like pressurized venom. Consoles are shattering from power surges. Mephin and Gizmo, you're stumbling through choking fumes, desperately trying to contain the rapidly spreading damage. Gizmo, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yes, boss.
Yes, but
Would I be able to help?
Obviously, you're in a different room at the moment. We'll get over to you in a second. 18. Okay, so you managed to keep your breath as you kind of make your way through this poison gas. What are you doing down in engineering?
I am just kind of knowing that we've just hit something and everything here is beyond repair. I'm going to scuttle into the vents and get to where the thrusters are and go for the manual shutdown.
Okay. So you start dashing your way through the vents. It'll take you a turn to get there. Okay, so while you're dashing through that way, in the cargo bay, this is where Zarek is. The ship heaves as the artificial gravity is stretched and stressed from the turbulence. Crates are being thrown around weightlessly in the air before falling violently to the ground, their metal frames dented in warps. One of the haulers, the mechanical kind of biosuits that were stuck in the bays at the far side of the cargo bay, is wrenched violently from its bay, sliding across the ground towards the seats where Zarek, Greaves, and Tomo are strapped in. Zarek, I need you to make a strength saving throw as this mechanized exosuit comes sliding towards you across the bay.
Strength saving throw.
Yeah.
That'll be 19.
Okay, so this slides towards you, and as it does, you reach out and grab it, and you kind of push it away, and Greaves is able to reach out as it pushes to the side and grab it himself and wrench it to the side, pulling it out of the way of Tomo. Zarek, what are you doing?
I was thinking what, before all this was happening, whether I could use some, like, I assume we've got, like, grappling hooks or stuff for, like, shooting out to pull cargo in.
You have got a kind of a cargo hook.
Yeah, I was wondering whether I'd be able to shoot that out in an attempt to stop the ship. Like to fire it in to grab hold of the Ravenloft to like pull us to a stop.
You could do, but you'd be sure in the cargo bay it would involve opening the doors into the void.
There's no airlock between us.
No.
Screw it, deep breath.
Okay.
Oh my god!
So, you go towards the back of the cargo bay. It's going to take you a turn to get there. So you start making your way across. The bay is becoming weightless intermittently, and you'll find yourself kind of slowly making your way across the bay. Kind of going back up to the bridge. Flames are licking up the walls as systems begin to fail in cascades of fiery bursts, sending searing smoke into the air. The ship groans with its entire frame vibrating with distress as it tears past the threshold. Impact is imminent. Is there any last actions up in the bridge? So this is Hex, Kai, Howl, and Cass.
I'd like to make another investigation attempt, I guess, to see if I can regain control and change the direction of the thrusters.
Go for it.
Jesus, take the wheel!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You start to investigate again. You can't seem to find any way of rediverting any power. It's just going full pelt. Hex, what are you doing?
I kind of realise that there is quite literally not much we can do, and I've accepted the inevitable. I'm gonna buckle in and brace
You buckle in and brace?
myself.
I mean, we've angled the shields, so that's one thing at least.
Okay, Cass, what are you doing?
I take a moment to use Druidcraft to encompass Howl with the sound of a vibration which will stop her changing if that happens again. So,
you reach out and create this sort of serene music that's almost like you're used to hearing Howl's playlist, so you're kind of replicating some of the music that keeps her calm because her headphones aren't working from the distortion that's been happening from this temporal event.
Yeah.
Howl, you hear this music start to play around in your ear, well, in your ears directly. What do you do?
give like a small nod for now, sit down, and because I don't think we get any comms anyway, I'm just gonna cut. Can I cut power from comms from my place?
Oh, you can.
Try and
yes.
give anyone else some like advantage here, because
Yeah.
comms ain't doing much.
Yeah, so you reach out and you kind of slam on the comms console, and it cuts out and diverts extra power to the shields, which is where Kai is diverting all the power at the front of the ship. Meanwhile, Gizmo, you've made your way through the vents to the rear engine. I need you to make an intelligence check to see if you can disable the thrusters.
Yes, boss.
So tense.
That's the idea.
Just a straight check.
Yeah, intelligence check.
Perfect.
Damn.
24. Okay, nice.
Oh,
24. Nice. So
one of us can roll.
you kind of you look at the engine and realizing that they're just running on full pelt. They're not kind of venting to the controls. You grab your wrench and you turn one of the venting panels and let a load of kind of pressurized steam come from the side of the engine out of one of the little vents, and the engine sputters and shuts off. Zarek, you're making your way across the cargo bay. As you do, you're kind of weathering the storm and making your way. That hauler that's been loose slams into the side of the hull, tearing a large hole in the metal. You feel a surge of cold as the air begins to get sucked violently out of the room. As you are not strapped into your chair, make a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Okay.
Hey yo!
Hey, Bardic, what a
It's
lad.
okay, you guys.
Thank you, Bardic.
Hey, thank you, Bardic.
If this goes badly, you might be able to re-roll it with the Twist of Fate.
Is that not rolled?
That has not rolled.
Ah. 1 second. I'll try again. Disadvantage.
13. Okay, so as you're making your way across the bay, you begin to slide backwards as the oxygen becomes thin and the cargo is flying around the room violently. I also need you to make a dexterity saving throw as well, please.
Okay. Just normal.
Just normal dexterity saving throw, yeah. Natural 20, first of the campaign!
Hey yo! The first of the campaign.
So you become partly weightless as the artificial artificial gravity in the bay fades, and one of the cargo containers slides past you, and you're able to kind of shunt it to the side. As you do, it spins and it hits the breach, temporarily plugging it with all of the kind of the bays that are moving weightlessly, all of the cargo items that are moving weightlessly fall flat to the ground with a clunk as oxygen's restored temporarily. The ship slides and grinds and starts to come to a halt. Kai, you feel yourself rocked in your seat, held steady by your kind of seatbelt, and as you tilted the shields forward, they take the vast amount of the impact. You find yourself shook forward, but you hold yourself firm. You look over to Dwerg as the hanging nav console above him swings backwards from the impact, striking him in the forehead and knocking him unconscious.
Oh shit!
In the engineering bay, Meffin is kind of scrambling around to fix all the surging gas and coolant, and the gravity begins to surge in both maintenance and the underside of the vents. Gizmo, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
No.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no! Hey
Oh,
yo!
no.
Yes.
Oh, fine. -1.
Okay, so you feel the gravity surge. You manage to grab onto a piece of metal hanging off kind of where your wrench is kind of stuck on the vent to hold yourself and not fall from the gravity surging. I need one more strength saving throw from everybody in the bridge. So that is Kai, that is Cassie, that is Hex, and that is Harold.
Oh.
It can be strength or dexterity, whichever is highest.
Oh please!
Oh, thank fuck.
Thank fuck for that.
Oh my god! Wait, how do I roll?
Click on whatever saving throw in your
I see, I
character
see.
sheet.
Ah.
Here comes the dex.
Not bad.
At least you guys can roll.
Hey, yo!
Okay.
You got 20.
Bang, bang.
So,
let's go! We got
And me.
so Kai, Hex, Cass, you manage to hold yourself firm as you feel the ship heave. Howell, as you feel the ship tilt, you didn't strap yourself into your seat, and you find yourself sort of slanted forward, and you slam into the communications bay. I need you to... Actually, no, I don't. Have you already made the save? I need to roll. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage from the impact. But after a few seconds...
11 minus 3.
You're fine.
Wait, is that just for Hal? Sorry.
That's just for Hal, yeah.
Okay.
After a few seconds, the impact is over. The entire ship heaves with the sound of escaping steam and roaring flames. The red emergency lights barely penetrating through the thick black smoke that's filled all of the bridge and all of the other parts of the ship. You hear the sound of the Ravenloft's bay doors slamming closed behind you, and you see that where all the gravity has been surging, everything that was floating falls to the ground with pressure restored. As the ship comes to a halt, what are you all doing?
Can I get a thingy on one of my spells?
Yes, what were you looking for?
Because I was wondering if I could use message, because I know everyone's like not in sight of me, and I know everyone, and I'm familiar with them.
So, with it being in the ship, while you're in the ship, messages are communicating through the ship systems.
Cool.
Yeah.
Message everyone. Like head count.
So, message is one way, right?
Yep.
It's 2.
2. Oh yeah. So,
You can reply.
People can reply. Yeah. Is everybody sounding off?
I'm good. I'm here.
Get a sound off on everyone.
Yeah, Kai like props up like little rattled, but I'm all good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. It was mainly to everyone else who I can't see.
How's
Just being like,
How's the ship? How's my baby? How's she doing?
Gizmo's fine.
Zarek, do you respond?
Is it safe to unclench?
Eric's fine.
You hear Meffin just going, a bit beat up, but I'm okay.
Meffin's a bit bruised.
Well, I think I shit out of gear.
His name?
Tomo.
Tomo's disgusting.
And
Yeah, but is he okay?
He's fine.
He's disgusting. Okay.
Yeah. And you hear Greaves' voice as well going, I'm okay. I took a bit of a hit from something, but I'm okay.
Greaves took a hit, but he says he's okay.
Okay.
And
at that moment,
Dwerg's unconscious.
yeah, I was about to say at that moment, Kai remembers Dwerg. He's like, "Wait, boss man, Doc, Cass, boss man needs a hand." And like Kai like unbuckles and like debraces and like rushes over to Dwerg.
Okay.
Yeah, I come over as well at the same time.
Perfect. So,
Come on, Doc, what do you reckon?
Right, I'm gonna need to do a investigation, maybe
medicine.
Medicine, because it's medicine. One sec.
Anything Hal could help with? Because, you know,
Would it be-
check that in the med bay.
Can I? Yeah, like because Kai's right there. Can we assist somehow?
Yeah, I mean, Howell and Kai, if you both want to assist, you get advantage on it. On the check.
I get advantage.
Yeah, you
okay.
get advantage out.
Perfect.
That's 25.
25. Okay, right. So,
Nice.
inspecting Dwerg, you can see that although he didn't take an impact direct from the crash, the panel that swung down and hit him did hit him really hard. It seemed to crack the top of his skull, and he is bleeding quite profusely, but he is definitely unconscious.
Oh fuck.
Ooh, geez.
Right, help me get him to the medical bay now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kai takes the order and starts to like carefully debuckle Dwerg and like tries to heft him up in the princess carry and follow behind Cass.
Yep. And how
I help as well.
Okay. And Hex, what are you doing?
She's like looking around the room, kind of seeing like everyone's taking control of the situation. Jack, status report on the ship, please.
A few seconds pass as you hear sensors running.
Damage report. Catastrophic damage. Hull breaches in sector 5, 7, 12, 15, 18, 22. Communications tower destroyed. Left thruster fuel leaking. Catastrophic engine damage to engine 1. Hull integrity at 47%.
Fuck.
Gizmo, it's broken.
Gizmo would hear the damage report, by the way.
Gizmo do the thing.
Yeah.
You,
Jack,
you hear a very loud, very echoed.
just coming from the vent above the captain's chair.
Just like a very tiny, like, wow!
Hal, what are you doing? Wait, what are you doing? Oh, are you eating?
Oh no, man, I'm kind of out of a job here. I'll go help out in the med bay. I hang out there enough.
Okay, so you start making your way down to the med bay as well. Zarek, you're standing in the, so just kind of to end where you are at the end of the impact, you kind of slid along the bay, but the bay was weightless when the ship actually stopped, so you kind of just fall to the ground without taking much damage as you manage to knock the kind of the sliding container to the side. As you look back over towards Greaves and Tomo, you can see
is
that
everyone all right?
yeah, so with your passive perception, Tomo looks fine. Greaves has clearly been hit by something and doesn't seem to realise how hard he's been hit. He seems to have a lot of... Well, it looks like he's taken an impact across the side of his ribs, where one of the cargo cases, the steel cargo cases, had kind of become weightless and slammed into him.
Okay. How bad is it? Immediate medical attention, or
Greaves seems to not be paying much attention to it. He's more kind of looking over where Tomo is and trying to get Tomo unbuckled. So from where you are, you can't really tell how bad it is, but it looks like he's clearly taken a hit.
okay. I'll go unbuckle Tomo and tell him to get his ass to sick bay.
So you work over and you manage to unbuckle both Greaves and obviously Greaves is unbuckling Tomo. Greaves looks over at you, Zarek, and you can see as he looks over, he does go to stand up and he does wince in pain, but he's able to stand. And he kind of looks down at his side and goes, I've only just got back from seeing Great Healer. She's going to be sick of me already. And he kind of
Look on the bright side, more cupcakes.
Very good point. This is why you are Great Warrior. And he stands up and starts walking towards the medical
Love
bay.
him. I love him so much.
I just want to hug him.
Tomo looks up at Zarek and goes, well, I guess we landed?
You know?
And just kind of...
In a manner of speaking.
And you can see, like, from his landing, you can see, like, the little mechanical bow tie he's got, he's kind of tilted to the side. The two kind of overlapped tops of what look like the lapel of his suit. One's kind of bent forward, and you can see he kind of reaches into his pocket, pulls that little hammer and starts hammering his, like, his collar back onto his body plate. And just sort of looks at you and goes, well, we better go and see who made it out of this okay. It looks like we may have had a little bit of a solid stop.
Would we have arrived by the medical bay and stuff by now?
Not quite yet. We'll jump over to where Meffin is at the moment, and then we'll jump back up to you guys. So, Panna, as you're kind of back near engineering, kind of looking at the damage. Meffin is there
what
kind
would the
of...
next inhabited bit of the ship be to us?
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Okay. I was just going to say
do you mean
make
do
our
you
way
mean
towards.
Oh, so do you mean in the actual Raven? Not in the Ravenloft. You mean in the Eclipse?
Yeah, in the Eclipse, like who
It would be
the next manned room would be.
Next man room would be the medical bay. So you'd be passing where the medical bay is anyway.
Okay.
So guess what? You come back into the engineering bay and you see Meffin is kind of like, you can see all the furs kind of sticking haphazardly out of his suit, even more than usual. He is covered in grime. One of the engines you can see has got a huge broken section in it, and all of the fuel that was in that engine has just come washing out and just covered Meffin. And he's kind of not in shock, but he's just not sure what to do with himself as he kind of sees you come into the room and looks over and goes, glad to see you're okay. I may be in a bit of a mess.
Yes, I can see that. I will give Ovin a little a little mop on a stick to help Meffin clean up as I go about cleaning up the rest of the engine fluid.
Yeah. So you start kind of working on cleaning up the engine fluid with Meffin as he kind of he tries to like scrub some of it off, but as he does, it's pretty more on him. He's just absolutely covered. But it does indicate to you that the entire of the fuel reserve on that one engine is just completely gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
And you guys make your way into the medical bay. So Cass, and Kai and Howl, you make your way into medical bay with Dwerg. What are you guys doing?
So Kai lays Dwerg down on the nearest stretcher or bunk examination table thing, and he sort of makes sure that everything's all right for a second and goes okay, you guys look after him here. I've got an idea, and he sprints out of the room towards the bridge.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So Cass, Howl, what are you two doing?
Yeah, so would I know what his state is at this point because I've checked him over already, or I'd like to use the machine I was using earlier.
Yeah, so you can use the medical the cryopod with the status output that's been kind of jerry-rigged in the medical bay.
Yeah.
To use that, basically, it's just a medicine check. So if you want to do a medicine check.
All right. Okay. A normal.
Yeah, normal.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I think you get natural 1, but you still get 10.
Sorry, my guy, I didn't mean it.
Oh no.
So
oh no.
You try to get the bay to kind of read, but in your kind of panic of trying to get this guy from still being shaken up from the crash and trying to get this guy onto the medical desk, you don't connect it up properly, and you can't seem to get any readings out of him, and you actually start to become a bit concerned that he may actually be dead.
Right, okay.
And you start making other checks, and a few minutes pass, and you start to feel yourself kind of have this surge of kind of guilt. I didn't get there fast enough. You kind of feel this drain on you. You take a point of psychic damage.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Before
how do I remove a point?
character sheets, then you just go to the edit button, which is in the top left, and then change the value on the left of your hit points.
Given it's been a couple of minutes, Kai would have reached the bridge by now, right?
He'd be getting there, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I have intent to help with this situation.
Yes, yeah. So while Cass is doing this, we'll jump to what Howl's doing, and then we'll jump back to where Kai is.
Gosh.
So Howl, what are you doing?
For the first time in fucking months, she's gonna take her headphones off and listen if she can hear this guy's heartbeat.
Okay. Make a medicine check.
Especially, werewolf ears and all that.
I'm here to help with a cupcake as well, if you need one. So, advantage.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh man, I cannot roll.
So you're able to easily hear a heartbeat, And as you kind of place your head onto Dwerg's chest to kind of listen, as you move your head down, you do hear him kind of let out a little bit of a cough to show that he is not awake, but he is breathing.
Yes. He's alive.
Oh,
fine.
like relief floods my my expression.
We can help.
We can help. We can help. We can do this. So I'm going to use the medical expertise in the bay so that I can heal him. It's going to take roughly 4 hours and 5 minutes for every hit point that he's missing. So
Yeah. So he has taken...
I don't know what that is because I rolled low.
So it's going to take you 40 hours to heal him.
Oh,
Okay.
Shit.
But you're going to put him into the pod, yeah?
Okay, yeah, I'm going to put him into the pod.
Okay, you put him into the pod. Kai, what are you doing? While this is going
So,
on?
as soon as Kai gets to the bridge, he attends the co-pilot seat and starts hitting buttons frantically, where he reroutes power away from the shield because obviously we've already crashed. Reroutes it away from the engines because they've been cut, and we're obviously not going anywhere in a hurry. And reroutes all power possible to life support and the med bay specifically. And then he hits a button to open comms and goes, "Oi, Doc! I've managed to reroute some power, so the med bay should be a little bit juiced."
Comms are out, aren't they? I cut them.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, what about intercom around the thing?
So the internal communications is working. It's the external communications that are broken.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it's the
Like
broadcast
intercom.
tower that's broken.
Yeah, I've still got Drac.
Yeah. Intercom's still a thing. So he basically says "Hey, the med bay's juiced. This should help a little bit."
I'll be very
I'm-
nice and I'll send him a
so-
message, and I'll be like, he's alive, he's okay. It'll just take a while.
I say, can I respond to this at all? I can't, can I?
You can't because you don't have a
I
communicator.
can.
Okay.
Um,
I have message.
but the way that we'll do this is that there are a series of checks that I make as the DM to see how the healing's going. It's going to give advantage to Dwerg making those checks.
Hey,
That's
good.
how we'll build that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you all kind of spend a bit of time kind of getting your bearings after all this has happened, and after half an hour or so of you kind of getting yourself up, getting yourself kind of stabilized, and kind of coming to terms with the fact that you've just crashed, you all kind of convene near the landing bay doors to kind of step out into this landing bay that you've landed on, to see what's going on. The ones that kind of convene is Hex, Zarek, Gizmo, Cass, Howl, Kai, Greaves, and Tomo. So the only ones that aren't there is Meffin, who is still in the ship. But you all kind of gather up.
Greaves injured.
Greaves was injured, but he's kind of shrugged it off, even though he's injured, and just said, "I want to help." So he has made his way over.
Not Greaves.
And in the 30 minutes or so, he has had some just light bandages put onto his ribs, but he's just trying not to make a fuss out of it, even though he is injured.
Oh, he just want to hug him.
Is
I hug
Tomo,
him.
is Tomo with us?
Tomo is, yes.
I'm gonna make sure that all of his parts are okay.
Okay. So how are you doing this? What explain to me what you're doing.
So essentially,
Sorry.
I'm checking all the dents in the places where he got hit and just making sure that all of his mechanical limb parts can move freely.
Okay, so you make your way over. You kind of start looking at all of his parts, and you can see that outside of some dents and the bow tie being wonky, he didn't come off it too bad. He's just got some dents and scuffs, and you're able to, using your expertise, just kind of tilt out and break through some of the kind of the overlap metal that's kind of bent out of shape, and almost reform his arm. And he kind of just smiles at you. You've done this several times. He has a habit of getting hit and crushed by things because he's so small. So you've done this a million times, and he just kind of looks at you with a smile and going, thanks Giz, it really helps to get all this done. Can you
You
believe
really
it?
should. You should take better care of this. Could only be repaired a few times.
Look, I got hit by a sliding cargo crate. What the hell was I meant to do?
Move.
I was strapped into a chair.
Then
God.
it should have been strapped into a better place.
He just kind of shakes his head. So and kind of you're gathering yourselves by this door. So Hex, you were going to do something. Sorry.
Yeah, I've far forgotten what
Sorry.
I was gonna say. No, it's fine. I am still shaken by all of this. Obviously, you know, the Eclipse is her baby. And although you know she's seen shit like this happen before, she's a bit. I'm a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm shaken. I'm shaken, and it's probably like it's. I don't get shaken very often. And she kind of. I'm just kind of looking around, like. Well, we're here now.
We're all alive.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're alive. It's the main thing.
And
We need to carry on with the mission. We need to find parts of Salvage and fix the Eclipse. As soon as
Kai
possible.
raises his hand.
Oh.
Kai, yes.
Here, Cap, it's a bit dark in here, but it looks like we're in a closed sort of bay, it looks like. Do you want me to take point and look around? I can see in the dark pretty good.
Yeah. I
dark?
can come with you. I can see pretty well as well.
Sick, let's go.
Okay, so
Raise your hand if you don't have dark vision.
Yeah. Would I be allowed to take this opportunity to prepare an action?
you can, yes.
So, upon the first sight of a life form, so like anything living, that isn't a member of the crew that I'm able to tell isn't a member of a crew, I would like to hide and perform a stealth check to hide.
Makes sense. So
I have my Eldritch Blaster out.
Okay.
Like
Can I go with as well?
Eldritch Blaster!
Okay.
my Eldritch Blaster, my little gun. My- It's like a revolver, but it fires Eldritch Blast instead.
Yeah.
That's awesome, sorry.
Yeah.
Actual Warframe weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of step your way down out of the kind of like, but you're in the kind of underneath of the cargo bay where the bay doors have opened up onto the Ravenloft, but you haven't stepped out into the Ravenloft yet. So with Kai taking point, how many of you are moving out onto the actual bay itself?
Me.
Me.
I will.
And I'm gonna take this opportunity to disconnect my headphones from my iPod and play the Rickroll. And it is bardic inspiration, so fuck all of you.
Okay, so everyone
The
gets
entire crew takes
inspiration
1
dice.
point of psychic damage.
Yeah, also, everyone's got a drink with Vexen. As said, everybody needs to hydrate.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks, Max.
I've been sipping on kind of Munster, so y'all know what that does to
Okay.
me.
For the same, I'm on
drank-
the youth juice.
Okay.
I've drank
I'm not
two-
relentless.
I've drank
Very
two
aid, baby.
2-liter water bottles of
Nice.
water. I really need the toilet.
You know, it'd be great. You know what? How your water would taste better if you
How?
got the Dreadship water bottle from the
Hey!
merchant store.
Yes.
Nice,
We have
nice
That would make your
segue.
water taste absolutely delicious.
That was
It would,
such a
it
good
would.
segue.
But so we'll do this next little section, and then we'll do a quick be right back for a few minutes while everybody takes a quick break.
Thank
We'll just do this
I was
next
going to say,
little
we've
bit
got an
first.
ad break coming soon, right?
Yeah, so we'll do this next section, then I'll run a few minutes of ads.
Let's go.
But so you kind of step yourself out of the ship's cargo bay into the Ravenloft itself, and you find yourself in a dimly lit landing bay. Rows of flickering, weak amber lights casting a yellow kind of jaundiced glow across the ground, illuminating patches of oil-slicked grime and burn marks from countless crash landings. Deep shadows are gathered in the corners of the room, hiding heaps of discarded equipment that you can just make out the outlines of, and the skeletal remains of damaged drones, their optics long since dulled. Rust-red service gantries cling to the sides of the bay, and at intervals there are bulky support columns that stretch from the floor to the ceiling, one of which the Eclipse struck during its landing, causing the ship's volatile stop. Each column is etched with caution markings, warnings of volatile fuel lines and pressurized conduits. Above you, on the ceiling of the bay, is a huge, almost stained glass style window, depicting the scene of a dark-haired figure striding into battle, but through it is leaking this poisonous flickering light from the stars beyond. In the far recesses of the bay, past mounds of spent ammunition casings and twisted hull plating, is an ominous-looking control booth jutting from the wall next to two large blast doors. You take some time to analyze the damage on your ship, and it is well and truly wrecked. And as you're kind of getting yourself accustomed to this, and kind of taking the scene, Meffin steps out from the ship, and he kind of turns to you all and says, well, engine 1 is shot, and engine 2 is going to need a lot of repairs. We don't have the resources on board to repair all this. Giz and I can probably repair it, but we're going to need parts. Maybe the Ravenloft has an engineering bay. We're definitely going to need, let me think. We're definitely going to need a fuel injector, a couple of plasma converters, a las coil, maybe some engine servos as well. Maybe, And he kind of looks at the ship and kind of looks back over you all and says, Captain, permission to stay back and weld some of this external damage so we can get the hull sealed. Maybe, if Giz can bring back some of the parts and identify what we need and get it back to us, he can make the repairs once I've finished welding the outside so we have a seal. But I'd need Greaves and Tomo maybe to stay with me, Greaves to help me in moving some of the heavier objects, and Tomo to help me get in some of the vents to rebuild with some of the casings. But permission for us to stay here and work on what we can do.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely no problem. I'll kind of reach up above my head and give Greaves a little, squeeze of his very big shoulders. And I'm just like, look after yourself, yeah? Don't push yourself too much.
As you
please.
do, he drops to his knee and kind of places his fist into his open hand and bows towards you and says, I will keep them safe.
I'll hug him. Just
Yeah, I'll give him a little hug, thank you, but please rest when you need to as well.
I will, great leader. And he turns.
If you don't rest, I'm coming for you.
He looks over with you and just kind of bows his head and goes, I will rest, I promise.
Okay.
And he kind of walks back towards the ship sorry, Hal, sorry.
I'll hold out her pinky and goes, Pinky promise?
He reaches down his hand.
Can I get an insight check?
Yeah, sure. But he reaches down. His pinky finger is the size of your hand, and he kind of just he almost puts his pinky finger into the palm of your hand and shakes.
Good job.
If anything happens to Greaves, I am killing every single one of you. You do not understand. I have the detonate button, and I am not afraid to use it.
I am immediately sus about Grieve being the big bad of the whole thing now.
No!
No!
So,
how full of shit is Greaves?
So you did the insight check. 60 on the insight. He's not full of shit at all. He is completely and utterly, honest.
He has no brain.
So he from what you guys know of Greaves before, you picked him up on a backwater planet where there was no technology, and he saw these kind of objects, this scrap falling from the sky. And he basically is a hermit from a planet that was collecting scrap. He thinks that you are all gods. He is fully convinced that you guys are gods that have come from the stars and taken him from his backwater planet.
I love him.
And we
This
love
is
him.
why, if anything happens to Greaves, everyone else is dying.
If anything happens to Greaves, all those motherfuckers will grieve!
Exactly!
So, Greaves kind of moves back towards the ship, and Tomo kind of runs up beside him and kind of looks at his ribs and turns around to you and goes, "And I'll make sure he doesn't take it. I'll make sure he takes it easy with that wound as well, because he has a habit of not asking for proper painkillers and meds. So, Cass, permission to use some of your painkillers if Greaves won't take them."
Yes, of course. There is also don't ask where I've been keeping it, but I take a I take a cupcake out, and I give it to Greaves, and as he takes it, I use Cure Wounds sneakily.
Okay. So, if you want to roll your healing from Cure Wounds.
Normal.
12 health. Okay.
Damn.
So you see him kind of, as he was walking before, he had a little bit of a slight hunch to himself where you can see he was kind of holding this wound. He straightens up as he's walking away and kind of moves his shoulder in a circular motion, and you hear like a little bit of cracking as the wounds kind of heals underneath the bandages as he moves back in towards the ship. Methin comes out to Gizmo, who you're kind of by the entrance of the ship, and he kind of gives you a little pad with like a readout of the parts that are needed, and says, "Here you go, guys. Can you help them identify what we need from the from the engineering bay? I need to get this seal done so that we can actually, contain pressure when we take off."
Of course I can. I mean, out of all these lot, who else is going to know what to get for the engine?
I mean, none of these guys are going to know a last call from their ass, right?
True. We'll ask for a piston and they'll come back with a screw.
True. And
Kai shouts from the distance, "Hey, screw you!"
Screw you too! And Methin just kind of goes back into the ship with Greaves and Tomo, and obviously Dwerg is in the bay, leaving the 6 of you in the Ravenloft. And before we do the next section, I'm going to run an ad break, and we can all grab ourselves a couple of minutes and go to the loo and everything.
Sounds good.
So I'm just going to get that running now. Just give me a couple of seconds, and I'm going to throw a B-Right back screen up for everybody here. Hello, everybody. We are back.
Rawr.
We're back.
We return.
Wait, no.
We return. Okay, so just a reminder as to what you guys could see. So where you are, you could see the bay itself has had countless crash landings. It's this kind of flickering amber lit area where there's like mounds of spent ammunition casings. There is volatile fuel lines and this big stained glass window above you of this dark-haired figure striding into battle. As mentioned as well, at the far side there is a large blast door that seems to lead deeper into the ship, next to a huge ominous-looking control booth. What are you guys doing? I know, Kai, you were leading point, weren't you?
Yup.
I'm following behind Kai.
How
Same.
dark is it?
It's not like pitch black, it's just dim.
Okay.
We have dark vision though, right? A lot of us.
Yeah.
Dark vision, yeah.
Yeah, how has
I
dark
thought
vision
it was
been scared of the dark?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I kept it. Hal has her music back now, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Great. She's like, you guys can hear some of it. She's blasting it. If you want her attention, you're gonna have to like tap her or throw something at her.
I'm gonna give Ovin his little backpack, and I'm gonna send him to find a lot of like small scrap parts that can be used for repairing stuff.
Does he have a little sandwich, a little lunch?
Lunchbox.
God! You have a little lunchbox.
So,
You have a little picture on it as well. Oh my god!
so you're going to kind of leave Ovin here to kind of collect little pieces and kind of take them back to the ship to help finish the repairs, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you see him kind of scamper off and start bringing back little tiny pieces of like sheet metal. He's kind of dragging towards the ship and just starts kind of working his way to bring all that back to the ship.
Moving his best boy.
Over his
love
bad
him.
boy.
I love him.
So Kai, if you leaning point, are you heading towards the control booth?
Yeah, and like kind of scouting around, looking side to side to see if there's any other points of interest. Would I need to make a perception check for that?
You would do, yes.
Let's roll it.
It's still a 9, so it's still... looking around the bay, you can see there's a few ships that have crashed there, but they seem to have been, from what you can see, they look like they have been already salvaged. You can see like pieces are already missing from them that are kind of cut square. You can't really see any points of interest, but because the ships are so big, it's fairly obvious that there's been someone else here who has been salvaging ships.
Gotcha.
But apart from that, it's really on the control booth that looks overly interesting.
Okay, well, Kai continues to make his way. He's trying to stay, like, as low as possible, like, keeping an ear out for stuff. His like, eyes have kind of dulled to, like, a bit of a dimmer glow, because he's, like, aware that he has to, like, kind of melt into the shadows a little bit. And he's got his dagger drawn and ready, just in case anything, like, jumps out at him.
Perfect. And are all of you following behind, or any of you further back? And I just noticed about the crackling music again, so I'll fix that.
Crackling?
Crickly clackly.
But yeah, are you all following behind, yeah?
Yeah, I've got my Eldritch Blaster.
I'll go up near
Ready.
the front with my lovely little dagger,
Okay.
because I have a dagger. I have two. I think they're my throwing daggers. I don't know.
Can I keep an eye out for any movement?
You can, yes. So if you want to just ready yourself an attack action, it's ready for if you need it.
Yeah, get my big axe out.
I'm going to turn you up again. but
Yeah,
you're
so
being quiet.
I raise my hand in front of my face, and in like Wolverine style, I have darts poke out where Wolverine has his claws. So I have knockout darts ready to go.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, drug darts.
Drug darts, let's go!
I am
Right.
behind everybody wielding my wrench.
Oh,
Perfect.
we love you for that.
Okay, so you start making your way
Are you-
across the bay.
Oh, meat shields.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, Kai, you're the first one to go in, so you're the first one to see this. So you enter the control booth and you notice that the screens, although they seem to be the system's not functioning using its proper system, they are flickering with static and projecting jagged lines across the cracked glass. Each monitor showing chaotic feeds from the landing bay below, fragmented by malfunctioning cameras and blurred by static. The consoles are kind of cluttered with darker readouts and fractured kind of panels. They're corroded from what looks like years of chemical exposure, and they're also bloodstained from accidents that no one's bothered to clean up. You can see there's kind of leaking coolant puddles that are kind of pooling in the bottom of the booth, adding this kind of chemically smell to the air as they've seeped into the grated floor. And you can hear the hum of failing servos and the faint pop of sparking wires filling the silence with a bit of that creepy dread sound of things just kind of scattering in the background. And the room itself is lit by a single overhead warning light that is pulsing erratically, casting a red glow that illuminates the actual bay. As you're the first one in there, what are you doing?
Okay, so the general area is in like a state of disrepair, but there's still power coming through.
Correct.
So Kai has a little like look around and like surveys, and then peeks his head out of the booth, and just kind of in a hushed tone, but enough for like the crew to be able to pick it up, he calls over Gizmo and goes, "Psst, hey, Fireball, come here. You're good with this kind of shit, right?"
Yes. Forgetting that that's his nickname, he kind of like sneaks over and takes a look at the fucked up panel.
Yep, you can roll an investigation.
Perfect. Like to hear. If I can get my character sheet. Boundary!
Is it doing a thing?
Do the
Found
thing.
you considering.
Refreshing. One moment.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Arnar.
Also,
Oh, no.
while Panda's doing the refresh and stuff, Cassie wouldn't know who, like, she wasn't there when Hel was talking about hearing the hailing earlier on, was she?
No, shouldn't be.
No.
Yeah, so I'm looking around murmuring, like, I wonder whose like ship this is. This is unsettling.
Would I
Rolling.
hear this?
You'd hear her muttering, yeah. Fuck, that's an investigation check.
A guy named Strahd something.
Strahd
very
van
harmless.
Strahd van Vorowitz, Strahd van...
Strahd van Var something.
Strahd on Starbucks!
Strahd van Bullsack for all I care, mate.
He had an accent, I guess.
He was like Russian, something.
Was it only Hal that heard it, or?
It was, yeah.
Was yeah.
Okay.
And I never said his full name because I don't think I could pronounce it. So
Yeah.
it's Strahd.
Strahd van
I think-
Bullsack works.
I think I said Strahd von something.
Yeah.
It was Strahd van blah blah blah.
Yeah.
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 Their name means
Strahd
nothing
van
to us.
Strudel.
Strahd was
Oh man, I want strudel.
So,
Why you do this to me? I want strudel now.
You're welcome.
so whilst you're kind of
It's
chatting,
full of pee, damn it.
Gizmo's kind of exploring around this control booth, and with his 25 investigation,
What
Holy
the
shit, dude.
he comfortably finds the controls for the blast doors that are at the back of the room, as well as a tattered service plaque that says, "All accidents must be reported to the ship administrator in the Barovia habitation block. Failure to do so will result in termination of your position and a return to cryostasis."
Wait,
What
what?
was that place? The Barovian
The Barovia habitation block.
Habitation Block. Otherwise, you go ice
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. Got it.
What?
So what are you
Well,
doing then?
as you can see, there's been a lot of fuck-ups going around, and somebody hasn't been telling the administrator. See, now you see, guys, this is very good, a good example for what happens on the Eclipse. Something goes wrong, you don't tell me.
I stopped
It
listening,
continues
like,
to break.
2 minutes ago.
Says the person that is always
Breaking
trying to
stuff.
stop our pilots from doing their job, Gizmo.
I'm trying to stop the pilot that is most likely to cause damage to the ship.
Are
from driving.
Are you the captain?
Come on now, I told you about this place. I'm trying to help.
And look where we are now.
Yeah, things are going
Um,
good. I did alright.
Hey, Macarena.
So this is all due to you turning off Kai's console?
Yes.
I turned it back on when I got told to stop being a prick.
You shouldn't
Well,
be.
it sounds like you should have stopped being a prick.
Sounds like we should let our pilot do a pilot thing.
Yeah, that'd be handy, wouldn't it?
Turn the console
No,
off.
our pilot
co-pilot.
is...
Should have endangered everybody on here.
Guys. Gizmo. Let's just not. Okay? We're in this situation, and we've got to make the best of it. Otherwise... look. We already lost a crew member 2 missions ago. And now our pilot may be down for the count as well.
He's not.
We know, but he's not with us right now. Like, he's in a pod, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
He's
We
leaving.
need to stick together. No fighting.
Yeah, agreed. I reckon we should focus on getting the ship to repair the ship.
Agreed.
Well, I'm trying to
Let
do.
Howl,
Yeah.
do you want to go back into the dark ship all alone?
No.
Okay. So let's play nice.
The disappointed teacher in nursery.
You know, like that. You know that meme with that one fucking person with all the fucking leashes.
Yeah.
Someone draw that, please.
You act like you're not an artist yourself.
Hey, look. I'm ill, okay?
Right, so what's the deal with this console then? We getting access to the rest of the ship or what?
I believe I can unlock the doors in front of us if you just give me a moment.
Yeah, I've got
An
you.
unlock button?
Okay, well, I don't need to press that button. That would open the blast doors and probably kill us.
Please no.
No.
Oh, here we go. And you hear like a beep and then a ka-tunk as I try and interact with the door.
Okay, so
I was so ready for that to go wrong.
you mess around the console a bit, and as you've been playing around with it and kind of working your way around, you were pretty good when you looked at it first time. You gave it a once over and pretty much knew what everything did. And you pull on a lever, and by the side of the control room, there's a door that leads into what you know is from the kind of the writing on the controls to be a service elevator. And you kind of pull at the levers, and after a few seconds, there's a loud as the service lift kind of clunks into position and the doors open up.
Ta-da!
Question to the DM.
Sure thing.
Was it a question to the DM? Or would I even know this myself? I don't know. Maybe it's something that Hex knows and I don't, personally, because I'm not a spacefarer. Do we need special super spacesuits?
Special super space?
Not inside a sealed vehicle. The airlock closed when you guys came through the main area, so you are in an airlock, so you are okay.
Okay. I just wanted to double check before we might get freaking.
Yeah,
Suffocation.
doing all the rolls for our damage that we don't know is going to be happening to us.
Right, we just get fucking crushed into nothingness from the pressure of space and a vacuum.
Roll
Like-
concentration check to make sure that your eyes don't burst.
I was like,
So why ask me to roll nothing? Just did the death saving throw number go up? By the way, I did just notice this in chat. Zarek, are you using your lightbearer feat to light the area up as well?
No, I was reading
Fair.
what it was doing.
Yeah, if you go over
yeah,
it,
sometimes
The only way I
it's-
can open it is to put it into the chat for some reason.
Yeah, I just
You can hover over stuff as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little finicky. I was trying to open my stuff earlier and I fucking examined and put expertise in the chat like 3 times.
yeah, it's cool. I just wanted to just double check. Cool. So the blast door opens up into what is clearly a service elevator. Are you guys making your way down?
Hell yeah.
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 Okay. So the interior of the service elevator is a kind of a box of corroded metal with stale recycled air. There's these kind of dim, buzzing lights embedded in the ceiling that are flickering kind of sporadically, casting yellow shadows across the wall streaked with rust and grime. Deep scratches are marred on every surface, some from the occasional, what looks like panicking passenger clawing at the walls, others carved as ominous graffiti, symbols and words etched by crew members. There are 3 buttons for floors that the lift can travel to, written in each with a label written in common. You can see D1, Landing Bay, and that's lit up as the floor that you're currently on. You can see D2, the Arrival Lounge, and you can see D3, Barovia Habitation Block.
Hey, we need to go there, don't we?
Sounds like the way.
Can I see what has been like scrawled into the wall, like if there's any meaning to it?
Yes, so you can roll an investigation.
Okay,
Open
just type
it
in,
inside.
type in.
Also, would Hal see any marks that look like wolf claws?
You can also roll an investigation as well.
Well.
Investigation, where are you?
Please roll well. Fuck's sake!
God, you guys can't roll dice today.
I can't roll. I don't think I've gotten above 10.
I got 15.
Okay, so with your investigations and kind of looking at the bay, the graffiti is written in a language that you don't recognise. However, you can see that from the jaggedness of the kind of carvings, they look like they have been carved in a hurry. That's all that you can really discern from them.
Okay.
Howell, you're kind of looking for marks that would indicate a wolf. Nothing there kind of indicates wolf. Although there is a slight scent that you are picking up of. There have been werewolves in this area at some point, but it seems like it's long ago.
Okay. I'm good to everyone. This could be nothing because it seems like it was ages ago. But I smell wolves. Like, me wolves, like werewolves, like whatever the fuck I am.
Maybe you could have a bit of an woo and like, you know,
Start a howl.
contact them. Yeah, give us a howl.
Kai snickers a little bit. He's like, "What? So you want Squirt to be the girl who cried wolf?"
Woo!
Hang on, is my nickname Squirt?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hey, what's my nickname?
Wait, which one?
Cass.
Cass.
Cass, he calls you Doc.
Alright, that's fine.
Wait, what's mine then?
Captain.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, we've got Captain Doc.
Bubble.
He hasn't had the chance to interact with Zarek, but Zarek is big guy. And then Gizmo is verbal.
Not forgetting
Can
Boss Man.
I?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, he's boss man.
Can Howl?
You can roll performance.
Oh,
Who,
great.
me? Oh.
No.
Howl.
Oh,
Oh my god, I can't roll
hey,
like
15 though.
actually higher than a 10.
You're still at 15 though.
Yeah.
So you let out a. Actually, no. What do you? You got a howl. Perform, monkey, perform.
Do it.
My mom is upstairs. If she
Do
questions
it.
this, I'm sending her to you.
This
Do it.
is why
You don't
I
do
chose to
loud.
be intimidator rather than a performer.
Do it.
I don't even know if that picked up.
No.
You didn't.
No, it didn't.
Did it right. Down.
I heard the
Not
start of it.
picking
I
up.
think noise cancelling.
Yeah, noise cancelling. It's great. We know you. We know you howled. That's fine.
I did it twice. Fuck you all.
Okay, we'll just edit it in afterwards for the VOD. Don't worry.
Yeah.
don't
Oh
worry.
my god, are you actually gonna
Yeah.
get me to send it?
Yeah, 100% gonna get you to send it.
You know the one from the memes where they're like, I'm praying on you tonight. You know that one.
I hate
I was
my life.
headcutting it as that one cat that's like crying.
So you let out this pristine howl. There was no response.
That's a good start.
Okay. So which
I mean,
four?
I'm not sure whether summoning other wolves like yourself would have been a good idea anyway.
I mean, like,
Would I, like with the Outlander stuff, would I have any way of knowing whether the signs of life around them? It'd be like a survival check or something to.
You could
get,
do a
like,
survival check to
senses of
see.
tracks or something.
Yeah, you could do a survival check to see if there's been traffic in the area.
Could I assist on that?
You could, yes. So you give advantage to Zarek.
Okay.
Okay.
12.
So the service elevator does look like it's used fairly regularly. It's in a bit of disrepair, but it seems that it's because it's still functioning. They just haven't bothered to repair it, more so than it's not on the list to repair. So it does look like it gets used, but you can't discern a direction.
Okay.
off we go.
Okay. So which floor?
I do take a. Yeah, I do take a second to go over to help, put my hands on your shoulders, and just whisper into your ear and say, look, that wasn't an affront or anything. That was, if they are hostile, what would we have done
I
if they're
know.
territorial? I don't want anything to happen to you.
I'll be fine.
Sorry, Cass in overprotective mom mode.
And then, like, can kind of, like, overhear that and be like, come on, Doc, don't worry, the kid knows what she's doing. I'm sure there's a couple different Howls, you know, come hang out, Howl, fuck you, Howl, one of them.
Your sonar is joking, right?
No, I'm autistic.
Love it.
Look, anyone that messes with the family gets this axe.
Oh, it's a pretty axe. Okay.
Okay.
What, you gonna ask him a question?
I press a random button.
Oh no!
Okay. Roll me.
I mean-
Roll d4
Oh,
For
no.
fuck's sake.
God damn it.
just to see which button you pressed. Okay.
This is like DD all over again. What does this button do?
Okay. So the lift starts to go down, and it goes down a single floor, and the doors. That's the doors. The door kind of entranceway to the lift kind of slides up in and opens up into a bleak-looking arrival lounge.
Wait, so... But I thought D2 was the arrival lounge. Isn't that upper floor? Or is it...
No, it's
down-
there was two floors to go to. It was one or two would have taken you to the arrival lounge. 3 or 4 took you to the habitation. But obviously, hit a random button.
Oh, I thought you said because it travelled downwards. I'm like, but it's
Is-
a second floor. Okay.
No, it's as in the ship's the floor. The ship is structured so that the higher number is the higher floor. So D1 is the highest. D2 is the next.
Oh, yeah, of course. Can you tell? I mean, I'm the captain. I know this.
Checking Hex's intelligence score.
Hey, look.
She dropped it with the wisdom.
Interesting.
You don't.
Smart. Oh.
Hey, remember? I changed the stat. I actually am intelligent now.
I'm
so
looking
you're
at
looking
it.
this one- Oh, you know what? Wisdom. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So the door opens up into this arrival lounge, and the air is thick with recycled fumes, a cocktail of stale sweat, burnt circuitry, the faint whiff of chemical disinfectant. The overhead of you is stripped with neon lighting that's kind of buzzing, casting this kind of acidic green and sickly orange glow that's highlighting cracks and pox marks in the walls, which are reinforced by patchy metal riddled with dents and forgotten impacts. Along one wall are rows of rusted seats that are bolted to the floor as if expecting violence, and they're upholstered in this peeling synthetic material. Once clearly they were quite bright, now they've faded to a grimy brown. There's hollow screens embedded in the walls that are flickering with garbled static, occasionally flashing like jittery, like half-broken adverts for products that have expired, long since expired, glitching safety notices with like corporate propaganda on them. And here and there are some screens that are sputtering out garish messages welcoming VIPs, followed immediately by security alerts, kind of almost like they're schizophrenically jumping between alerts and welcomes. And in the corner of the lounge, you can see there is a large vending machine that is glowing dimly next to a service counter that is sitting unattended.
I want to go to the vending machine.
Hey, food.
Save.
Okay.
Wait. Can Kai like run up and immediately try and like lockpick hack it?
I was gonna kick it.
Roll
I was
initiative.
gonna reach my arm in it.
You three roll initiative. Roll to see who acts first.
Oh, but dude's got like how much initiative?
Wait, where's initiative? Where's initiative?
It says, wait, there is no combat encounter in your currently viewed scene.
Oh, well, you roll it.
Oh.
Ah, shit.
Roll a d20. Just add
roll
initiative
D20,
then.
just roll D20 and just add your initiative.
What's my
Alrighty.
initiative?
Your initiative is +1.
Thank you. D20.
I got 7.
How do
I got
add
2
one?
plus 10, so 12.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Jesus. Okay, Hal.
Okay, Howl, like, Kai starts moving towards it with speed, and Howl just somehow, but like, you know, in Arcane, Jinx moving when she's on Shimmer? Like, Howl, in front of Kai to this vending machine. What do you do when you get there?
I What snacks are there first?
So there's a list of items on there, and they're mainly like protein packs and foods for like nutrient paste for travellers.
Where are the sweets?
So there's a few things in there that you'd recognise as sweet foods. There is some like chocolate bars with this kind of Barovia labelling on them. There is also like what looks like some bag of like popcorn, but it's like more like a bit like a popcorn item made of like compressed candy floss.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one on there is what looks like a Danish pastry.
Give me the Danish pastry.
Okay. So you put one of your credits in. So just so you know, the gold on this is just classed as credits. So actually,
Got enough of it. It's fine.
So you
Can I ask the state of this Danish pastry? Like, is it fresh or is it kind of stale?
Well,
Does it have what state of like edible is this pastry?
I was expecting it to be like green in places and stuff, you know?
This is what I mean. Like, is it moldy? Is it stale?
still
Or is it
gonna eat it.
fresh? I'm still gonna eat it.
Hal pushes the buttons in, and as you hear the machine whir, out of the dispenser at the bottom, there comes out this sealed in plastic Danish pastry. Make a quick perception check, Howell.
Oh no.
Here we go again.
Come on, you roll high.
Those-
You've got this. You've got this.
For those who don't know, the last time I played Howl and ate a pastry in Barovia, I got dream pastries.
Okay, so as you kind of take it out and take a look at it, it looks a little bit stale.
It's fine.
So you once again, we've got a raid coming in. We'll say hi to the raid, then we'll do this bit. So welcome in, raiders. You'll have to excuse that there's no alert, but welcome in, raiders. I can see Dicey. Hey, Hangman Sacrifice. How's it going? Did you have a good stream? I hope it went well. You caught us playing some D&D, so you don't have to excuse if you're not interacting with chat as much as we normally do. But I hope that you're doing well and you had a good stream. We are currently seeing what has happened to this dispensary that Howl is drawing from. But yes, I hope you had a good stream and that it all went really well. But yes, so, Howl. It looks a bit stale to you. Kai, you're right behind it, and with your passive perception being like 15, I think it is, this thing expired like 800 years ago.
Hey, Squirt. I don't know if you want to eat that. It looks a bit iffy. I personally I wouldn't, but I don't know. You do you, man.
What are you doing?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, look. Let me have a go at this little thing, and let's see if we can get you something better. All right?
Yeah, you will get a tummy ache from that.
Hey, I was just gonna break it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, save me
So-
credits, guys.
I mean,
Have they turned their back?
I'm gonna give it a lockpick here. Hold on.
Has everyone turned away?
They have, yes.
Om nom nom, bitch.
Oh my god.
Roll us Constitution check, please.
Right, have you got toilet paper? 'Cause I think you're gonna need it.
Constitution check or save?
Constitution save. Also, we have 2 twists of fortune.
Ooh, nice.
Natural 20. So you eat this.
Tell me, Hort.
Yeah.
Power snacks.
You eat this pastry, and you have no negative effects. It just tastes a little bit off,
Whoa.
but it tastes more like it's just been stored in a sealed packet, but just left way too long. It hasn't got any mold in it. You managed to find clean bits of it, but it is definitely stale. But you're able to eat it without vomiting.
Genius.
It was.
That was happening. I did my lockpick.
Yeah, you need lockpick. So you start wiring away at the front of the vending machine, and you manage to break into the panel. You start wiring a few of the sections, and with a kind of crunch sound as the panel just sparks, the front of it opens up, and obviously because you're in on this ship, there's no currency like gold, etc., in there because it uses obviously credits, which are all from like the cards that you guys are carrying. But you do manage to open the front of the machine, and it is full of very, very out of date stacks. Everything is at least 500 to 800 years out of date.
Can
Okay,
I check if they are still have any nutritional value?
Even with your passive
I was
perception,
gonna call
they
over to
clearly
Cass.
wouldn't. You can go
Damn
for
it.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
Carl, what were you doing?
Stay again, sorry.
So have I been called over, or?
Yeah, Kai was gonna call over to Cass and be like, "Hey, Doc, are any of these any good?"
The pastry was a bit stale.
Right, it wouldn't be a medicine check, it'd be just like investigation, right?
Yeah, you can do an investigation, see if they've got anything.
Yeah, I'll take a look, don't worry, Kai.
Oh, cheers.
Okay, I got 20.
There's no nutritional value at all.
They have very little to no nutritional value.
Can we throw them at people?
But would they be tasty?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Well, you can all fuck around and find out.
I'm
Hal
gonna fuck
just
around
kind
and
of
find
puts-
out on a
Hal puts her
Snickers.
hand up. They're not that good.
Okay, but is there a Snickers?
Snickers in space.
There is not.
Okay, is
I'll have
there
notes forge around and find out.
is there anything that resembles a chocolate bar?
There is some chocolate bars, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna take a chocolate bar and just eat it. I'm stress eating. I'm fucking stress eating. My ship has just fucking crash landed in this desolate place. I'm stress eating.
Constitution saving throw.
Kai is not even gonna like take any of the shit. He's just gonna like walk away, just kind of swaggering and like tossing his like thieves' tools, like his little hacking key, just in a bit of pride that he managed to pop it open.
Can Hal grab one of the pastries and just smack it off his head?
Yes, you can do that with no checks.
Can I do a deck saving throw to dodge?
You can.
Right, I'm not in line for this, am I?
No.
Yeah,
you
am
dodge.
I?
Get wrecked, kid!
Okay, I fist bump Kai as he gets past, by the way.
Hey.
That was some epic food getting.
There we go. I'm happy.
Whilst this is going on, Gizmo, Zarek, what are you two doing?
I am shaking my head as I walk past everybody, and I'm looking for any data terminals that I could get myself into.
Yeah, make an investigation check, please.
Yeah. I'm
The most important, the most valuable thing we can find at the minute is information. So yeah, records, offices, cupboards. I'm breaking into anything I can find to see what.
You can make a check as well, then.
What's about.
Yeah, so you can do an investigation as well. Then.
Investigation, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I think I might have to refresh.
So while you're just refreshing, we'll go through. So Gizmo, you're looking around for data terminals to try and find anything of useful. And there are some data terminals in there. Most of them seem to be running old adverts. But as you kind of come around to the side of where almost like a bar is sitting, you notice that there is some discarded terminals, and Zarek, you notice these as well. Around the sort of side of the bar, there is what looks to be a almost like they're used a lot by travelers. They kind of hold just that travelers, almost like a journal, which has been abandoned by some traveler who has been here previously. Are you gonna take a look at that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll read through this and then I will share it to everybody, so everybody does have a copy of this. But it is in
Thank you.
fact a traveler's journal. So
Oh, it's one of these.
there are 4 entries that you can discern in the journal. I'll read through them all for the purpose of chat, and then I will share it all over to you guys. So, entry number 1. I don't know how long I've been aboard this drifting ruin. The power systems are all erratic. Time loops back on itself in strange ways, and yet the ship feels disturbingly alive. Today I found an empty corridor that shouldn't have been here. It wasn't on any of the schematics. At the end of it was a single cracked monitor showing static. Through the static a voice came through, one that froze my blood in my veins. It was low, dark, each word punctuated by a deep, resonant echo. I couldn't catch much, only fragments. Intruder. My domain. Fear is welcome here. And then I saw him, if only for a moment. His image flickered on the screen. Tall, dressed in dark, regal attire that looked almost ancient, but carried a terrible dignity. His eyes seemed to burn through the screen as if he could see me as clearly as I could see him. He called himself Captain Strahd, though I barely heard his name over my pounding heartbeat. As I backed away, I heard the faintest chuckle, as though he enjoyed my fear. I tried to run, but every corridor led me right back to that screen. I only escaped by turning off my flashlight and groping blindly until I reached another section of the ship. I can't tell if it was real, or if the ship itself is driving me mad. Entry number 2. He's taunting me. Strahd. I don't know what he is. Some corrupted AI, a projection, maybe even a ghost, but his voice has followed me through the halls, and tonight he found me as I entered the Barovia Habitat Block mess hall. The lights flickered when I entered, and he was there, at a table covered in some macabre feast, things I didn't recognize and didn't want to look at too closely. He sat at the far end, his fingers folded, those cold eyes watching me. He gestured for me to sit, to dine. I refused, but something in his gaze pulled me forward, and before I knew it, I was at the table. He didn't speak, only watched with a faint knowing smile. When I finally forced myself to look away, he said, "You cannot escape, you know. This ship is my domain. I am ancient. I am the Ravenloft." Then he faded, and the room was empty again. The air as stale as before. But that feeling, the feeling of him watching me, it hasn't left me. I sense him everywhere. Entry number 3. Today I tried to reach the escape pods. Strahd knew. He was always one step ahead of me, like he could see my every thought, my every move. As soon as I made it to the launch bay, the ship groaned, and thick metal doors slammed shut right in front of me, locking the pods behind them. And there he was, materialized on the other side of the glass, watching, his lips curled in amusement. "Freedom is not for those who trespass," he whispered. And then the final entry. I don't know how long I can endure this. Strahd has turned off the lights to most of the ship. I'm left wandering in the pitch black, my footsteps the only sound in these empty corridors, until I hear him. Sometimes it's a whisper from behind, sometimes his voice will call from a broken intercom, urging me to come closer, promising release. I know it's a lie, but part of me wants to listen, just to end this endless fear. I've begun to wonder, if escape is impossible, if he truly is the ship's master, then maybe I'm better off dead. And then the log ends. So I'm just going to make this available to you all, so you have access to it. So, all players.
Strahd is so hot. For fuck's sake.
It's true though.
I am not wrong.
Down.
I didn't say you were. However, is this like a down pub thing?
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so that's what you find on the file. So Zarek and Gizmo, you're kind of reading that file together.
The fuck are we going? Where is it? Where are we looking?
It should be in the journal section.
Ah.
Under handouts.
I don't have handouts.
I don't have handouts.
Let me just force the visibility.
I do.
I have
I got it.
resources. That's about it.
Strahd in space handouts. Travel. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I don't know
stream
handouts.
resources.
I can see it.
There you go. Just force
I've
it.
got it.
I've got stream resources and chroma. And they don't seem to
Weird.
do anything.
Yeah, I have that.
There
and
should
all.
be journal, stream resources, Strahd in space handouts, traveler's diary.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, well, I have it.
I have it too.
It's
So
in
it
that
does say
right
that
now
you do have
calls
it.
for 1 month.
Let me refresh it.
I'll send another link for
I'll
it as well,
refresh.
but if you refresh, it should be there. So yeah, Gizmo, Zarek, what are you two doing with this information?
I'll have it.
I'm kind of just going. I'm gonna take that information and then just kind of like go through and corroborate with the earliest entry where this isn't a thing.
Oh, so look to kind of the entries before those last entries.
Yeah, to before like there's a like before people are complaining about like Strahd doing weird shit.
So when you look back into it, the entries that come before those ones, they're only a few days after arriving. It seems that they originally landed in the landing bay about 2 days before these events started happening, and they made their way into first of all the Barovia habitat block, and then they also made their way down to one of the further decks on the advice of a group of scrappers who was advising them on, ways of finding equipment to get off the ship. And it was there that his crew went missing, and eventually he found his way into that corridor that just seemed to end at that monitor.
What floor was that again? Does not say anywhere.
It was on floor D3, which is the same floor as the habitat block, but it was in a different part of the ship.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just walk up to the people by the vending machine and go, guys, slight problem.
Mm-hmm.
What's the issue?
We might already be fucked.
Why?
I read out the entry to them, and I finish with, this Strahd person might know we're here.
All the reason to get all the metal bollocks and get out, right?
God,
Invited us, right?
no, invited us. He
Yeah.
He was the one that wanted us here.
He hacked my headset. Wasn't
I
fun.
know, but
He's invited us, right? This person was a trespasser.
Would
Maybe we're okay.
Would I know, with my knowledge, if how the hacking of the headset would have happened?
You can roll intelligence check on it. It would generally be outside of your knowledge, but if you get 20, I'll give you a little bit of information.
clutch.
Oh, I got excited then I saw the O.
Yeah.
So no,
I
you
wouldn't
wouldn't
call our
have.
landing invited. It was more like taken.
Yeah, Kai kind of pipes up and he's like, "Invited or not, I didn't feel too happy about what happened. I don't really want to stick around here any longer than we got to."
I mean, you and me. I think we should just still focus our efforts on getting the scrap we need to fix the ship and get out of here.
Agreed.
That's where we need
Ignore
to go then.
the need for sugary snacks.
But you
Side-eye owl.
for them too.
You saw nothing.
I saw both of you.
Okay, come on,
Smoke
come on.
and mirrors.
So looking
And
around the bay
Hal
as well.
runs back to the elevator.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking around the bay, there is only the one entrance in from that elevator.
Can I go to the? You said it was like a service desk.
There is, yes. It was where they
And
found the beacon.
Oh,
data tablet.
right, that's what I found. Right, go.
There's a beacon. He just told us there's a beacon. Find the beacon.
It must be lit.
I meant the data pad. Okay, chill.
He said beacon. There must be a beacon here.
The beacon must be lit.
The beacon must be lit.
Beacon, bacon sandwich.
Beacon damage.
Beacon sandwich.
Oh,
Also, shoutouts to Wild giving us a room with literally 1 point of interest, and then cut to 3 of the players immediately sprinting towards it.
Obviously.
Yeah. I know I can distract you with shiny now.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know,
shiny and sugar.
you knew Howl would be drawn to snacks.
Yeah. Cool.
For Kai's part, he was like, "Ooh, something I can fuck with."
Yeah.
Literally.
Okay, so how will you make your way back into the lift? Is everybody else heading to the lift as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's head to D3.
Okay, so
Hey, before we go, hey, Zarek, can you see how strong those things are bolted on? And just tell me if they're like rusted through. And by things I mean the seats are bolted down.
Strength check?
yeah, you can do it with athletics.
Athletics. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Okay, so
So that's
So that's where my rolls are going.
24.
So you grab. Sorry, I just saw the bacon must be lit in chat. So you grab this chair and start
bacon's
wrenching it.
always lit.
Yeah, you start wrenching at this chair on the floor, and as you do, you can tell that it is very, very rusted, but it isn't rusted quite the way through. And as you wrench it, the bolts that are holding it into the floor snap, and it tilts off its its holding.
I make a note of like the wear and tear, and that we might need multiple of the parts that we're after.
Perfect.
Fun.
Cool.
Thank you, big guy.
No worries.
Okay, and the rest of you are heading to the lift, right?
Yeah.
You guys heading there as well now, or is there anything else you want to do before you? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you all make your way into the lift, and you knock it down to the next floor down, which is the habitation block. And exiting the lift opens up into a long service corridor stretching in 2 different directions. A grimly lit sign with a dim kind of yellow fluorescence sits directly ahead of the lift's exit, cataloguing some of the ship's structure. It has a sign pointing left which says core deck elevators. Meanwhile, a sign pointing to the right denotes Barovia Habitation Block, Administrator's Office, and Bridge. Below these entries, written on a piece of additional metal that's been attached to it, carved into the steel of the sign, is a sign that simply says Ravenloft Cathedral. And that's pointing to the same direction as the habitation block.
Would I get the same smell that I did earlier?
It is still everywhere on the ship,
Oh,
but
everywhere.
it's very, very, like I said, very, very distant, but it is there.
Oh, wait, wow.
I'm thinking we go to the elevators, guys, see if they've got, like, well, somewhere where Gizmo can tinker around.
Tinker?
Tinker? I said the word. Jingle,
Well,
jingle,
If we
Jingle,
go
jingle, 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 jingle.
elevators,
Okay.
if we go elevators, then we need. Do we not need to go to this administrator?
Maybe
mean,
we
if,
should go
if,
there first.
If trespassers, at what point do you become a trespasser?
I think it's a good idea in general, just to make sure that there's any forms of life or anything. Like, if there's something alive crawling around in here, I'd want to know about it, you know?
Plus, I think there are some bulls on this ship. Like, I still smell them. I just don't know where.
Are you smelling yourself?
No.
Oh, stinky!
Uh-oh,
Stinky!
Are you sure?
If I wasn't, I wouldn't bring it up.
Gizmo,
Yes.
you are literally part animal. Are you sure you're not smelling yourself?
I'm not smelling anything right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it's Hal that's smelling you.
Oh.
Potentially.
Uh-oh.
They're very good potential.
All Gizmo can smell is just oil and smoke.
It masks the panda.
Yeah, he just smells like years of engine oil under his fur.
He's so close to it. He's got the fucking black lung, and now that's all he can smell.
my fur is currently covered in like thruster fluid from turning the thrusters
I bet
off.
it's covered in
and then-
thruster fluid.
Oh.
Hey!
Give me that thruster fluid, yo.
Oh god, no, let's not.
You can't even tell that his fur's red because it's just soot.
Oh no.
Hi,
Right,
Gov, you need a chimney sweeping.
He looks like Heimerdinger's blast skin.
Yeah.
Gizmo
Um,
stopped smelling like a panda a long time ago.
We need to figure out where we're going, though. So, did you say the administration desk and the church were in one direction? There was elevators in a different direction.
Yeah, so there's a thing that says core security elevators to the left, and then to the right it was the habitation block, the admin office, and the bridge. And the cathedral was also pointing in that direction as well.
We should probably go to the habitation block then, right?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, I reckon so.
the station's really nice, and they'll be willing to point us in the direction of the engineer area. I'm looking on the bright side here.
I think you're reaching.
I
Hal,
think
but
I'm reaching too.
I think
but
you're
hey.
reaching. But hey, you never
I'm
know.
just thinking if we, you know, do the things they've said, tell this administrator person that we're here, we might get a bit of leeway to move around uninterrupted.
Okay.
If we
I'm
learn,
with Zarek here. I think that's a good idea.
if we
mean,
learn
hey.
the rules, we can bend the rules.
Either way, Captain said
I
habitation
like
block,
your
that's where I'm going.
idea, Hal. I like your
Sick.
idea, Hal.
Okay.
You guys have rubbed off on me.
So you guys make your way to the right then towards the habitation block. And you make your way down this long corridor that leads to these two large blast doors that open automatically as you approach. As you step through, the blast doors open up into an open-sided service lift sitting over a wide open expanse. The habitat block, or at least the remains of what was once a artificial habitation centre. At its heart, in the sky above you, looms a monolithic broken reactor. A towering relic of a forgotten age, rusting bulk, piercing what is an artificial sky locked in perpetual twilight. This failing giant is casting a shadow over what appears to be ramshackle slums below, made from scavenged metal and sheets from the reactor. The fractured shell of the reactor is occasionally exhaling bursts of orange and green smoke and red energy that pulses like a heartbeat funneled upwards via these tangled ancient wiring to higher echelons of the ship. The reactor is clearly long past serving its intended purposes, and the labyrinthine outer casing spirals downwards into the depth of the sector. At the bottom of which, from where you're sort of standing from your raised viewpoint, you can see there appears to be the foundation of some kind of makeshift marketplace and slums. You can see, looking up at the reactor, there are like these mechanical service drones hovering around the structure. They're kind of performing repairs, but you can also see humanoid figures alongside these drones who seem to be breaking off the repairs they're making just as fast as they're making them.
What?
Surrounding the reactor itself is concentric rings of this ramshackle housing. These structures that are cobbled together with scavenged plating and discarded debris. And there's also housing that seems to climb the side of the reactor itself, with these kind of houses spiraling up the outer casing. And the whole slum itself is lit with this sickly orange glow that is radiating from the reactor above. You can also see at the far side of the hab block, a makeshift cathedral is rising from the distance. A kind of a grotesque, sort of tilted and jagged, almost like salvaged art of a cathedral. The walls are lined with those kind of mismatched windows, patched with colours of shards of coloured glass and salvaged blast shields. And directly above it seems to be almost like an upside-down black steel castle spire that is protruding from the ceiling down and to the top of the cathedral, with this kind of salvaged blast shielding around it, which you can also see has this kind of glass circular window, almost like it's a viewing station overlooking the entire habitat block. Suddenly, with a burst of orange smoke, the platform that you're standing on springs to life with a whir of servos, and you begin to descend down into the habitation block. And that's where we'll end session 1.
Okay.
Oh my god,
You.
That's pretty strong. I was about to have like Kai lurch forward and be like, "Hey, looks like we got some salvage."
I mean, I was gonna have Howell cling on to Cass and be like, don't like that.
I was gonna ask how far up the reactor was and then get someone to throw me.
Yeah.
It's out of range. If you get thrown up from this lift, you are falling to your immediate death.
like I'm feeling like the reactor is like Sector fucking 7, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The second he said slums, I'm like, okay, so Midgar.
Yeah.
Yeah, think like one of the reactors from Midgar upside down.
Oh,
red,
that's
but
strong.
like red and orange, but then the slums are built into the reactor, and the bottom of it kind of opens up into a marketplace. That's what you're looking at.
That's so sick. Well, looks like that's our first town, right?
Looks like.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for next week then.
Yeah, so
Hell
that's all. And so, yeah.
Half an hour? One more hour?
GG!
Let's go!
We have to stop there, Starry, because I am looking at it thinking, I know, I mean, I've got like the first 5 or 6 sessions booked out, but the next bit's going to take you like a good couple of hours, so I wanted to make that into another session.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is definitely like we've gotten the establish, and we're like ready to really get stuck in next session. So
yeah.
now feels like a really good stopping point, honestly.
And also,
Yeah.
hopefully I won't be sick next week.
That'd be
Yeah,
good.
fingers crossed.
But we're going to be, so just for those in chat who just need to know the schedule for this campaign, so the idea is that we're running this campaign every Tuesday. And thank you for the ad break snooze, by the way, whoever snoozed them.
That was me.
It didn't give me the option.
Hey.
So we will be running this every Tuesday. The idea is that we will be taking a 1 week break around Christmas time. I think this New Year's Eve is a Tuesday, so we won't be running on New Year's Eve, but we'll be running every week outside of that. So we'll be carrying on with this campaign, and yeah, I'm looking forward to digging in further because we've only just got started. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in and for the early hype train, and we've been seeing so good numbers today as well. So it's so good to see so many people have been coming in and enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, thank you all so much for like hanging out and like chatting and being here, everybody.
Yeah,
Genuinely,
thanks for coming and joining us.
this is incredible. Like, if you guys want to support the like incredibly cool shit that Wild is set up for this, like, please, like, follow, come hang out. We're gonna have a fucking incredible campaign ahead of us. I can already tell there's gonna be sick.
I love this group's dynamic already.
The like lockpick into like swagger away, throwing the thing at Kai, him dodging it and being like, "Ha, get fucked!" I was like, that was iconic already.
Hell yeah! I'm so looking forward to the next few bits that we've got coming up as well, because it's like I've not touched on any of the stuff that I've got prepped really. I've hardly touched on anything yet, so I'm so excited to see what these guys kind of get up to, especially in this first area. Like I said, we'll be back next Tuesday, and if you are interested in catching any of the wonderful streamers that are here with me today, do make sure to join the Underrealm Discord, where you'll be able to see all of our schedules, go live notices. As we mentioned kind of at the beginning, Tony Draculina, myself, Aloria, Deuce, and Panda are all Gen 1 of Underrealm. Ken has just joined us in Gen 2.
Hell yeah!
And Starry has been a long-standing member of the community since we formed it.
I've been here a while.
So, yeah, if you are interested in seeing more from us, then do make sure to drop by the Discord. And, of course, we do also have the D&D merch line. Any sales of the merch will go towards sort of supporting this campaign and letting us do more interesting stuff with it, like getting some NPC portraits done, different merch, and... if you want that Greebs t-shirt,
shit,
we need to support it.
T-shirt.
Dude, it's gotta be everybody giving Greebs a big group hug, because he's
Yeah.
No. What we need is a Greaves body pillow, but like a huggable one rather than a
Hell
body.
yeah.
Oh, you know, like those like airplane like sleeper things, like one of them, but it's just Greaves'
Yeah,
arms.
that's strong.
You know what I mean?
But for now, I'm going to go and have a look for a raid. I think I'm going to be raiding over to Trisps. I think they are still...